Yeah, John Martinez has looked great at the plate, just so consistent through these first 5 games. Some guys have had big games, then quiet games, but Martinez is good for a hit or two just about every night so far.
2-2. Norton looking for a 1-2-3 first, and he has it. Martinez waves at the slider down and away. Big Train down in order as we head to the bottom of the first. Bottom half of the first set to start from Woodbridge, Virginia. The DC Grays put up a 1-2-3 inning against the top of the Big Train order. And now the top of their order will work.
Hey, Ryan Sung having a good start to the season, hitting .385 so far, actually up to .462 after his last game.
Sung awaits the first pitch from Big Train starter Jake Titus. It's a fastball on the outer half for strike one.
Titus has one of the firmest fastballs in the Big Train rotation.
0-1. Slider misses high. He was the opening day starter against the DC Grays. Tough outing for him, 2 2/3 innings. Gave up 5 runs, 4 earned. Looking for a better result against the same squad. Fastball lined into center by Sung, and it will get down just in front of Peltier for a base hit.
And what happened back on Wednesday against the Grays was Titus just got nibbled to death. Walked out guy here, gave up a single there, and it all kind of spiraled on him in a couple of innings. So hopefully today he can just keep traffic off the base paths and have a cleaner outing.
Noel Rivera steps in. Sung with a decent lead off of first. Titus delivers a curveball just beneath the letters for a strike.
And that's going to be crucial for him today, that pitch. That was a struggle he had. He was leaving the breaking ball high a lot. The fastball he was able to find in the corners, but couldn't locate the slider, and that left him behind in some counts.
Pick off to first. Sung is back. Noel Rivera with a 2-for-4 outing against the Big Train on opening day. Titus kicks and fires. Another off speed. Catches up the belt for a strike. Rivera hitting .250 on the year with 4 hits and 16 at-bats. 4 runs scored. 1 home run on the young campaign. Sung with a yellow sliding mitt equipped on his left hand leads off of first. Rivera pops one up on the air, high on the infield. Corbin, the Maryland third baseman, says he hasn't, and he does for the first out.
Good to get a quick soft contact out there from Rivera. A bit of danger there in the 2-hole from the shortstop, and he deals with him.
That'll bring Ethan Nagy up to the plate, today's designated hitter for the Grays. A bit of a rough start to this season for him. He's played 3 games. He's 1 for 6 so far. Pick off at first again. Sung back again. 2 RBIs for him to go with 4 walks, so the on base is there. 417 on base for Nagy. There goes Sung for second. Murphy had to double clutch the throw, and he will not get the ball out of his hand. So Sung with a stolen base.
Yeah, Murphy a bit frustrated because it wasn't the best jump from Sung Murphy might have had a shot if he's able to transfer that cleanly, especially with the heater of Titus in a good spot to throw, too, on the outer half.
Titus kicks and fires. Nagy takes a fastball on the outer half for strike 2. First pitch that Murphy couldn't get a good throw down was called a strike.
Yeah, and Titus just pounding the knees with the cheddar right now. I really like this approach.
Nagy awaits the 0-2 from Titus. Kick and the fire. Fastball just misses out. Nagy, a pretty intimidating presence at the plate. He stands at 6'4". Sung at second. Uniform all dirtied from his head first slide. 1-2, Titus looks him back, now comes to the plate. Nagy swings and misses at the changeup for strike 3.
That's a really good, really well pitched at bat from Titus there. Just spots up a couple fastballs, then spins the slider. And Nagy just looked off balance when he saw the wrinkle. I think was waiting for another heater.
So now the cleanup hitter, Carter Jenkins, will step in. Sung still at second with 2 out. No score in the bottom half of the first. Kick in the fire from Titus. First pitch is a slider that misses out. Jenkins, 3 hits, a hit by pitch, and 2 runs scored against the Big Train on opening night. He was one of the killers that the Train just couldn't really seem to get him out. 1-0 to him. Swings and misses, and he tips it. Had it tipped, it looked like it got clean past Murphy, but the ball was tipped by Jenkins and got to the backstop, so no advance from Sung. And the count will be 1-1. Titus looking for a clean inning. Drew Norton, the Gray starter, set down the top of the Big Train order, 1-2-3. 1-1, Sung dancing at second. Now Titus kicks, fires to the plate, and Jenkins late on the high fastball.
And just rushed it by him. I mean, got him low, then got him high. Might stick with the heater here.
1-2, 2 out. Sung still at second. Titus looks him back again, now fires. Fastball just misses outside.
And Titus just looking a lot more calm on the mound than you saw at times during opening night. Just free and easy up there right now.
2-2. Jenkins putting up a strong battle in his first at-bat. Titus kicks and fires. Fastball misses high, and the count has run full on the cleanup man.
Can't lose them here, though. Got ahead 1-2 with 2 outs. You can have them down their last strike in the inning. Giving up a free pass here. Just needlessly extends the first.
Andy Rivera waits on deck. If Jenkins were to get on, Sung is off for third, grounded to second. Fielded by Martinez. He flips over to first in time for the out. No runs on one end, no errors. 1 runner left on base as we head to the second. 0-0 between the Big Train and Grays. Top half of the second here from Woodbridge, Virginia. No score yet between the DC Grays and the Bethesda Big Train. Logan Panett will lead things off out of the cleanup spot. He has hammered right-handed pitching so far this year, 6 for 13. That's good for a .462 average as he works against the righty Drew Norton. Kick and the fire. Pumps in a slider on the outer half for strike one.
Yeah, boy, has this kid been swinging a hot bat. The only player in the league with multiple home runs. He has 3 of them. He leads the Cal Ripken League in home runs and RBI.
0-1. Slider misses in the dirt. 8 total bases in the game yesterday against the Braves. 1 home run and 2 doubles. He also homered against the Gaithersburg Giants, so he brings a 2-game home run streak into this game. 1-1 fastball misses down and away. He has also recorded a hit in every single game. A 5-game hit streak for him coming into this contest. Looking to make it 6 against the starter, Drew Norton, who pitched a 1-2-3 first. He grounds a slider towards third, and it's just off the glove of Monk. Dixon Monk slipped a little bit trying to make that play. I believe you could rule that a hit or an air, Jackson. We'll see what the scorers say.
If we were at Shirley Povich Field, I think that's definitely a hit, but here without the hometown scoring, we'll see what the official ruling is.
We await the official ruling as the Alabama product Peyton Steele steps in. Yesterday was his first game in a Big Train uniform, and he also had a good day putting up 2 doubles. Kicking the fire from Norton is a fastball on the outer half for strike one.
Yeah, Steele had himself a sparse but nice campaign at Alabama. 4 for 12 in the regular season with the Tide.
And the scorers have come in with a decision. It's a single for Panett. He's off for second, and he will get there. So Panett with a stolen base. He had a few stolen bases so far on the year. Norton peering in on Steele. The Big Train. With a runner in scoring position, nobody out. Kick and the delivery. Steele chases a fastball above the zone, and he's behind in the count 1-2.
Good job being a leadoff by Panett, singling, then finding his way to second. He's set up Steele really well here. Need the right fielder just to move him over or get him in.
Norton looks back, Panett at second. Now comes to the plate. Slider is hammered through the left side for a base hit. Panett rounding third. He will get the stop sign and stay there. Back-to-back singles to lead off the second for the Big Train, and they're in business with runners on the corners and nobody out.
And that's one of those situations where Steele got too much of that to send Panett home. Hit it hard on 2 hops to Andy Rivera out there in right, but good piece by Steele. Saw the hanging breaking ball up and just jumped all over it, yanked it through the 5-6 hole.
So now Emilio Gonzalez will step in, and he had struggled to start the year. He was 2 for 13 coming into the game yesterday, but 3 hits, 1 double. And off for second is Steele. He'll get there. Gonzalez tips one into the mid of the catcher, Ahakovi. Now, a lot of people don't know this. If a foul ball is tipped but caught, it doesn't count as a foul ball. Runner does not have to go back. 0-1 from Norton. Martinez takes just below the knees for a ball.
Gonzalez at the plate yesterday. He looked fearsome. Everything that came off his bat sizzled. Picked up those 3 hits like you mentioned, Quincy.
And 3 of them all against left-handed pitching, so he's hitting with reverse splits right now. That ball gets away, and Panett thought about taking off from third, but with no outs, he's going to stay put.
He should have stuck with it, though. He hesitated while Alcovi was still looking for the ball back there. I think he has it if he commits from the get-go, but
I don't think you want to risk that with no outs.
Yeah, with Gonzalez looking good his last couple of games at the plate, don't hate leaving him up there to swing.
You can't be getting out at home from third for the first out of an inning. 2-1 from Norton, and Gonzalez fouls one straight back over the press box. With 2 outs, I think you got to go there, and I think he would have taken off if it was 2 outs. Steele the runner at second. Panett still the runner at third. 2 stolen bases in the inning for the Big Train. Emilio Gonzalez looking to stay hot and push across the first run. He grounds one to second. Sung bobbles it, throws to first in time to get Gonzalez, but Panett will cross from third to the Big Train. Strike first. They lead 1-0.
And just putting the ball in play. The Big Train have been great at that throughout this year. They don't strike out a whole bunch, and that's led to a lot of that. RBI, ground out, sac flies, and the like.
So now Matthew Wesley will step in. 0 for 6 against left-handed pitching, but 3 for 9 against right-handed pitching. He had 2 stolen bases on Wednesday against the Thunderbolts. 1-0 to him. Pops one in the air, foul out of play.
He showed some patience early, 6 walks in the first 2 games. He's up to 7 total, which is second most in the league.
478 on base to go with just a 200 average. 1-1, 1 out, runner on third. Big Train lead at 1-0, top half of the second. He drives one deep in the air, down the line and right, giving Chase his grace, and it will fall just out of his reach in foul territory. So now 1-2, the count on Wesley. And with 1 out, runner on third, this is really where you'd like to see him put something in play and really try hard to avoid the strikeout, Jackson.
Yeah, just need the run in here. I mean, you got a guy at third, less than 2 outs. That should equal run.
1-2, fastball taken high. Ahakovi had to stand up out of his crouch to catch that one. So now 2-2 on the Virginia Tech Hokie. Matthew Wesley, Norton kicks and fires. Slider misses down and away, and the count is now full.
You know, the first round of a lot of BPs at many levels of baseball is get them over, get them in. You try and hit a ball to the right side of the infield, move a guy over from second, and then square up a ball, get it to the outfield for the sac fly.
3-2. Wesley takes strike 3. He thought it was high. So a costly looking strikeout for the Big Train, and now it will be up to Parker Corbin. It'll take a hit to score that run from third.
And Parker Corbin busted out of an over to start the season with a double in yesterday's game.
Started the year 0 for 13, but is on the board. And he could get a third RBI on the season. He did have a few sac flies. Took the first pitch at the knees. Now he cues one over to third. Monk this time up with it cleanly and will make the throw to first. So no damage. So the Big Train do leave a runner on third, but they do score 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base as we head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Big Train. One nothing Big Train as we work into the bottom half of the second here from Woodbridge, Virginia. The game starter Jake Titus will work in his second inning. Gave up a leadoff single to Ryan Sung, but then a pop-up, a strikeout, and a grounded out to retire the side. Andy Rivera will now lead things off for the Grays. This is only the second game of the first 6 where the Big Train have scored first. Titus kicks and fires. Fastball is upstairs to Rivera. They scored first against Gaithersburg on Saturday. Again, they lost 11-10. That one was a thriller. Just like the first time they played the Grays, they lost 11-12. So 2 tough luck losses in a lot of running, in games that have a lot of runs. Rivera takes a fastball in the outer corner for strike 1. Titus back into the windup and delivers another fastball in the same spot for strike 2.
But Rivera at the plate. The Grays have moved their lineup around a lot. Rivera here is the only Gray that's played in every game so far.
Titus into the windup looking for the strikeout. Grounded to third, just foul down the line.
Or I should say the only Gray that started every game so far. Noel Rivera and Joey Chitla have appeared in all 4. Chitla starting on the bench today. Rivera in the 2-hole and playing short.
And Chitla hit 9th on opening night when the Big Train played the Grays. 1-2 still the count on Andy Rivera. Titus kicks and fires. Fastball misses up. The catcher, Isaac Ahakovi, waits on deck. Titus back into the windup for the 2-2. Runs inside and it hit Rivera on the elbow. He'll have a free pass to first.
And the hit by pitches are something that's stung the Big Train here and there throughout this season, just losing control temporarily. 2 of them in Titus's first appearance.
We'll see if the Big Train try to employ a little bit of small ball to try to just get the 1 run back as they trail 1-0. Titus will check Rivera at first, but he's back.
Rivera swiped 5 bags so far this season. Probably a wise check.
Slow start on the year hitting for Ahakovi. He's 2 for 12, and he takes a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
Yeah, when we saw him in person, he put in real tough at-bats. Made Big Train pitching work.
Titus kicks and fires another fastball, this one just a bit outside.
Like that pitch, I think Murphy and Titus did too, but the umpire disagrees.
1-1 the count to the Grays catcher. He takes another pitch in a similar spot outside for a ball. This is a pretty shallow field here in Woodbridge, Virginia. 320 down the lines and 380 in center. Shirley Povich Field, the home field for the Big Train, is a field that plays a little large. This ball fouled straight back into the fencing of the Big Train dugout.
Because at Povich, for example, it is also about 380 to center field, but the fence is about 20 feet high, a full batter's eye type fence, whereas here it's just a standard about 10 feet high chain link.
Off for second is Rivera, swing and a miss by Ahakovi, throw down just late. So Rivera swipes a bag, but Ahakovi down swinging, and now Ryan Grace will step in.
The wrinkle for Titus so far is looking tight. It's dove under barrels of both Nagy and Ahakovi.
Grace hitless so far this year in 7 at-bats. He has scored a run and has drawn 2 walks. Titus looks back Rivera at second. Now delivers fastball on the outer half for strike 1. 1 out, runner on second. 1-0 Big Train in the bottom half of the second. Titus looking back Rivera. Now kicks and fires. Just low for a ball. 1-1 the count on Grace. The Grays sit at 2-2 on the year. They're a game and a half back of the South Division leading Southern Maryland Senators. Titus kicks and fires. Fastball misses down and away. It's 2-1. The Grays won their first 2 games, but have lost their last 2 games.
And they've played in a lot of close contests so far, Quincy. I mean, they've been in 3 one-run games.
They have won 2 of those, lost 1 of those. One-run game. Swing and a miss by Grace. Throw down to second by Dylan Murphy. But Andy Rivera able to slide back in safely. 2-2 the count on Grace.
A good look there from Murphy. Nearly got Rivera diving back in head first.
Titus set just above the belt. Kicks and delivers. Fastball high. Grace finds himself in a full count now.
Titus has thrown 32 pitches through an inning and a third. He's at just under 60% strikes, though.
19 strikes to 13 balls. Full count payoff. Chopped foul down the third base line. Almost a nice barehanded play by the Grays third base coach, but he will frustratingly toss the ball to the on-deck hitter, Eli Owens. Full count again. Titus comes set. Kicks and delivers. Off for third is Rivera. Swing and a miss. Strike three on a slider down and away. It was a perfect pitch to go on. Dylan Murphy not able to make a throw to third. So for the second time, Andy Rivera has stolen a base when his teammate has struck out.
Yeah, and that one especially, you said, is a great pitch to run on because Murphy really has no shot to hop up and throw with that. It's a good pitch. It's in the swing zone off the plate, but Murphy has to go down and grab it. No way to make it smooth coming up and throwing.
Owens fouls one down the third base line. Very tall lefty, also stands at 6'4". Titus looking to strike out the side and pitch a second scoreless inning. Fastball just misses low. Owens lunged at it a little bit, but no swing. One the count. Runner on third, Rivera with two out. Fastball just misses inside. 2-1 the count to Eli Owens. The lefty standing tall with his front foot up, ready to swing. He fouls one down the first base line, and the first base coach for the Grays unable to make a play on that one either.
It's an interesting stance for Owens. He stands with his feet pretty much straight together, up and down. Like I said, with that front foot cocked and just barely tapping the dirt.
2-2, two out. In the bottom half of the second, runner on third is Rivera. Half swing, appeal to first, and so Murphy appealed to the first base ump and the third base ump, and neither one said he swung, so the count will be full on Owens. Everyone kind of paused, didn't really know where we were going. 3-2 payoff, fouled away by Owens again into the softball field.
Yeah, and the center fielder has not been able to catch up to the fastball yet. Everything's been way late.
We do sit next to a softball field here at Woodbridge High School, home of the Vikings. Thank you to them for having us. Full count payoff again, chopped foul again by Owens as he was a little bit ahead of the breaking ball.
Titus just doesn't get that pitch down quite enough. Just high enough for Owens to fight it away.
He's putting up a battle and has run Titus's pitch count up a little bit. It now sits at 41. Kick and the fire again. Fastball misses outside, and Owens works a 9-pitch walk.
And that's big because even if you get Monk here, Owens has rolled it over to the top of the lineup next inning, which those are those little advantages that you take for granted in a long game.
Yeah, every single at-bat matters, and Dixon Monk will try to get the Grays to draw even in this game. They trail 1-0 after the big train pushed across a lonely run in the top half of the second. Fastball misses high and outside to Monk. 1 hit and 4 at-bats so far this year. Was a little late getting to the team. Runners on the corners. 2 out. Monk waves at a slider in the other batter's box in the dirt for a strike.
Whenever he deals with that slider nicely, doesn't let it squirt anywhere.
A pass ball would tie this game. Titus kicks and fires, runs one in on Monk, and it hit him in the back just beneath the neck. He's smiling, though. He says he's okay, and he'll take a jog to first.
I don't know if that's a smile or a grimace. Not necessarily a dangerous spot to get hit, but certainly not a friendly one. And here is Sung, who's been seeing the ball really well so far this season. Hitting an even 500 now.
He singled in the first inning. He's been a bit of a big train killer so far this year. Had a hit and a walk in the first matchup. Titus kicks and fires. Slider just misses the outer half for a ball. 3 walks for Sung. 8 total bases, 9 after his single. Only 3 strikeouts, 6 stolen bases, and 16 plate appearances. He takes a fastball in the outer half. Titus maybe starting to lose a little bit of control here. It's now 2-0.
And 2 outs has been the bane of the big train on defense many times so far this year. You look at games back earlier in the season, it's where they've really struggled.
2-0, fastball beneath the knees, and Sung is 1 ball away from tying up this game. I'd imagine he has the red light Jackson with a walk scoring a run. 3-0, Titus delivers high and outside, and Titus walks in a run. It's now 1-1.
Now batting for your Grays, number 9, Noel Rivera.
So now Noel Rivera will step in. He popped up high on the infield in his first at-bat. And now we're going to see a mound meeting between Jake Titus and pitching coach Greg Lopez, who is now in his 9th year at the big train.
Yeah, we got to 2 outs, 2 big Ks of Alcovy and Grace, and then walk, hit by pitch, walk. Not the sequence you want to see from Titus, who, through an inning and 2/3, was sailing along.
Lopez off the mound. Titus giving a fist bump to every single one of his infielders. The infield is Corbin, Wright, Martinez, and Gonzalez from 3rd to 1st. Martinez and Wright have switched today. It's normally been Martinez at short and Wright at 2nd, but today it's Wright at short and Martinez at 2nd.
Yeah, Wright looked solid at short in the 1 game we've seen him there so far. Not surprised to see him back there again.
Titus kicks and delivers. The curveball runs inside and just nicks Rivera on the hand. It'll be a hit by pitch, the 3rd one of the inning, and another run will score.
And sometimes you see the pitching coach visit really turn things around on the mound, but that one, again, just popped out of his hand and nicked the elbow of the shortstop Rivera.
No hits in the inning for the Grays, but 2 walks and 3 hit by pitches have pushed across a run. Ethan Nagy now in. Takes a fastball just outside for a ball. Titus set, trying not to let this inning get away from him. Delivers a fastball low. It's 2-0.
And behind in the count again. Just to work back here. Just find a way to end this inning before it turns into a big one. That's what undid the big train at Gaithersburg.
Kick and the 2-0. Fastball catches at the knees for a strike. That one maybe looked a little bit low, but a generous call from our umpire. Nagy just asked him about it. But it is indeed a strike. 2-1 now from Titus. Fastball high and out.
And Murphy shoots out some words of encouragement to his righty on the mound.
3-1. Titus trying not to walk in a 3rd run. And that fastball misses just inside. So another run home. It's 3-1 Grays.
That's 5 runners in a row that have reached all with 2 outs.
And all via a walk or a hit by pitch.
In the Olney game back on June the 5th, I believe 9 of Olney's 10 runs were scored with 2 outs.
Kicking the fire to the cleanup man, Carter Jenkins, is a fastball down the middle for a strike.
I don't want to see Bethesda go the same way here today.
Titus set at the belt. delivers. Line drive into center field. Peltier has a beat on it, and he will make the catch to retire the side, but not before 3 runs cross on no hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. We head to the third, 3-1 Grays. Welcome back. Top half of the third, set to start here from Woodbridge, Virginia. 3-1 the lead in favor of the DC Grays. And so now it'll be 9-1 and 2 due up for the big train. Dylan Murphy, Alex Peltier, and Brennan Wright. Woodsyball alongside Jackson Corcoran. Kicking the fire from the Gray starter, Drew Norton, is lined into right center field, and this ball is down. It will roll for a bit. Murphy thinking about second with a big turn at first, but he'll stay at first with a leadoff single.
Yeah, but that's the textbook turn from Dylan Murphy. You get a hit like that, it's near the gap but not quite in it. You round hard, and if Grace bobbles it out there, you're well on your way to second. He has to retreat to first because Grace fields it cleanly, but I mean, that's textbook for Murphy.
So now the leadoff man, Peltier, will dig in. He hit a ball square on a line, but right to the second baseman Sung in his first at-bat. Back pick over from Norton, and back with a head-first slide is Dylan Murphy.
Yeah, Peltier just cracking the base right now. Laid out a perfect bunt hit as well. Everything he touches turns to gold.
He does show bunt, now pulls it back. Covey throws to first, trying to get his fellow catcher, but this ball gets up the line. Murphy's up to second. He's going to keep the wheels moving. He's off for third. The throw will not come all the way in, but Murphy's in with a head-first slide anyway.
And you can't see it, but at second there, Noel Rivera tried to deke Dylan Murphy. As he was running there, Rivera faked like he was about to receive a throw from right field. Murphy wasn't fooled, blew right through him, and easy first to third on the air.
That's a great job of listening to your third base coach, because ultimately the opposing fielders won't have your best interests in mind. 1-0 to Peltier. Bounces and barely gets away from the catcher, Covey, but not enough to score Murphy from third.
That's a tough block, though. Now Covey does well to keep that near him.
2-0 to Peltier. Big Train looking for a big inning after surrendering 3 in the second. Slider just catches the outer half for strike 1. 2-1 on Peltier with nobody out in the top half of the third with a runner on third. .22 strikes and 16 balls for Norton, now 17 as he delivers a fastball in the dirt. And Peltier ahead in the count 3-1.
Yeah, looking at the pitch count of Norton for the first time, surprised. It seems like he's been a bit more efficient than he has.
3-1 kick in the fire from Norton. Chopped slowly on the ground towards third. Murphy is going to score. And Dixon Monk with an off-balance throw gets it to first in time for the out. But the Big Train get a run back. It's 3-2.
Yeah, again, just getting the job done. Peltier, their second run of the game, scored on an RBI ground out. Just finding a way to get to third with less than 2 outs, and then it's an easy job for the hitter to get him in. Just got to find a way to put a bat on the ball.
Leadoff single from Murphy. Throwing air by Ahakobi gets him up to third, and then Peltier with a nice RBI ground out. Brennan Wright grounds one to second. Sung is up with it cleanly and makes the throw to first. So Wright retired on the first pitch. Second time he's grounded out to Sung. So now the FAU Owl, John Martinez, will step in. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. He's 7 for 21 now on the year with a .333 average. First pitch from Norton is a changeup that misses in the dirt. Seven RBIs so far on the year as well for Martinez. Kicking the fire from Norton. Curveball just misses down. It's 2-0.
Martinez has kind of ensconced himself in that 3-hole as well. Haven't seen him out of it so far this season because he hasn't shown a reason to remove him from it.
Norton kicks, fires the 2-0. Fastball on the outer half for a strike. And head coach Sal Colangelo has brought out the blender early in this season. Every single game, a different lineup for the Big Train. They have not used the same lineup twice. But in all those lineups, it's been John Martinez hitting third. 2-1. Swing and a miss on the fastball. It's now 2-2. Norton looking to leave the third inning still with the lead. It's 3-2 Grays. Top half of the third, 2 out. 2-2 count on John Martinez. Norton kicks and fires. Curveball misses in the dirt again, and the count has run full. Logan Panett, the Big Train's hottest hitter so far this year, waits on deck. Norton set just above the belt. Fires the payoff. Line drive up the middle. Sliding stop with the shortstop Rivera. Fires under first, but it gets wide and up down the line. Martinez will not try to advance on the throwing air.
Martinez just pistoning out of the box. I mean, that could be an out if you don't get hard out of the batter's box there, but Martinez does and earns himself a hit.
Yeah, they are going to rule that one a hit and not an error on Rivera. The throw was wide, but it would have been very close on whether Martinez would have gotten there. He's back on a pickoff attempt from Norton.
So that extends his hitting streak to 6.
So Panett looking for potentially another extra base hit to his ledger and maybe tie this one. He takes a fastball just below the knees for a strike.
Yeah, Panett technically now 0 for 1 on the day. They made the decision to call his first at-bat an error, a little chopper down the line.
Kicking the fire from Norton. Martinez off for second, hit and run. Panett fouls one high in the air, foul down the first baseline. And see, I thought the Panett ground ball to third was more deserving of a hit. They gave it the air. And I thought Martinez, when the throw was wide, was more deserving of an error. They gave him the hit. So, kicking the fire from Norton, 0-2. Popped up, foul out of play again. .50 pitches so far on the outing for Norton. 30 strikes to 20 balls. 3-2 Big Train. Top half of the third. 2 out, 0-2 count on Panett. And Martinez still at first. Slider misses down and away in the dirt. 1-2 now on Panett.
Panett hasn't been daunted by 2 strikes, though. He's found a way, even down in the count so far this year.
Another pickoff from Norton. Martinez back with a head-first slide. This is definitely a situation where you're going to see him try to go and get into scoring position. He has been a stolen base threat so far this year. Another pitch bounces. Martinez is off for second. Ahakobi's throw down. Not in time. A little bit of a delayed decision to go there for Martinez, but he barely gets in.
I think that's just a great read from Martinez. He sees the breaking ball heading towards the dirt, and as soon as he sees the break, sending it away from the glove of Ahakobi, he takes off and gets in ahead of the throw.
2-2 on Panett. Tying run in scoring position. Top half of the third. Kicking the fire from Norton. Fastball misses way high. And the count now full. Panett looking for his 9th hit of the year. He has 8 so far this year, and 6 of them are extra base hits. Full count payoff from Norton. Curveball just misses inside. Ahakovi held the frame for a little bit. He thought that was a strike.
Yeah, the Grays dugout was ready to hop up and congratulate their pitcher for getting out of the inning, but not just yet. They don't get the call and brings up Steele.
Peyton Steele singled in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. He now has 3 straight plate appearances with a hit. His last 2 plate appearances yesterday against the Braves, both doubles. Trying to make it 4, he takes a curveball just outside from Norton. 1-0 the count, runners on first and second, 2 outs. 3-2 Big Train, top half of the 3rd. Norton looks back, Martinez at second, now comes to the plate. Fastball driven deep in the air out to left field. Going back on it is Rivera. It will one off the wall. Around third and scoring is Martinez. Panett is on his horse. He gets the windmill at third. The throw comes to the plate. The play! Not in time. Panett's under the tag with a head-first slide, and the Big Train have the lead back. It's 4-3.
Yeah, heck of a slide by Panett. Just comes in, picks out the outer part of home plate, and just dives through the batter's box, kicks the hand out to tap the plate under the tag. Good work by today's designated hitter to give the Big Train the lead.
So that's now 4 straight plate appearances with a hit for Peyton Steele, and 3 of those plate appearances doubles. And now the Grays will head out to the mound and talk to their pitcher. But Jackson, we've talked about scoring with 2 outs for the Big Train's been a little bit of an issue. But 3 runs home in the inning and 2 of them with 2 outs.
Yeah, turnabout is fair play. I mean, all of the runs last half inning for DC were with 2 outs. And now getting 2 for the Big Train with 2 outs. I mean, that's a huge momentum swing in this ball game. And throughout this season, the Big Train are hitting just .212 with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Obviously still very, very early on, but 2 big swings from Martinez and Steele to reverse that trend.
So now Emilio Gonzalez steps to the plate with a runner on second and 2 outs, looking to potentially extend the lead for the Big Train. 7 runs through 3 innings of play in this game. Norton fires. Looped in the air towards shallow center. Going back is Noel Rivera, and it's just off his glove. He can't make the over-the-shoulder catch. Steele scores from second, and the Big Train add another run. It's 5-3. And I think you got to rule that a hit. That's a really tough play for Rivera to make going over his shoulder.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but it also, on plays like that, it feels like breaks are finally starting to go Bethesda's way. Throughout the season, it seemed like every ball that hit off the pitcher kicked into right field. Every ground ball by the other team found a hole. But now, maybe some lucky bounces going our way.
4 runs on 4 hits, no errors for the Big Train. Kick in the fire from Norton. Line drive in the air to deep right off the bat of Matthew Wesley. This ball will land fair and get into the corner. Gonzalez will stop at third. Wesley will stop at second. 4th hit of the inning for the Big Train and their 2nd double of the inning.
Yeah, and 4 straight, or actually now 5 straight batters reaching with 2 outs. Steele and Wesley both stinging baseballs.
So now the 9th hitter of the inning will step to the plate as Parker Corbin. He has 2 runners in scoring position with Gonzalez at third and Wesley at second. He takes the first pitch right down Broadway for a strike. 5-3 Big Train in the top half of the 3rd. 2 outs, runners on first, on second and third. Corbin awaits an 0-1. He fouls it straight back, and he's behind in the count 0-2. Drew Norton, no runs allowed in the first inning. 1 run allowed, 1 unearned run allowed in the 2nd inning after Panett led off the inning with an error, with a reached on error. This ball, half swing and a foul from Corbin. But this inning has gotten away from him. 4 hits and a walk have allowed 4 runs to score.
Yeah, and credit to the Big Train, making a crooked number out of pretty much nothing. Nobody on, 2 outs. And then Martinez gets it going by beating out an infield single. Then from there, it all just snowballs.
Fastball bounces in the dirt. They did just rule the Emilio Gonzalez single a single. And I think that is the right play with Rivera going back and that ball just hitting off his mitt. That's just such a tough play to make over your shoulder.
Yeah, nearly impossible, really.
1-2 the count on Corbin with 2 in scoring position and 2 out. Fastball driven deep in the air, down the right field line. Going back is Grace. This ball is fair and gone. Parker Corbin with his first extra base hit on the year and his first home run. The Big Train have broken it open in the third with 7 runs. It's 8-3.
And Corbin gets the pinch hit late in yesterday's game, breaks out of the slump, and then crushes that baseball pretty close to a no-doubter, just finding the corner here at Woodbridge High School on huge 2-out rally for Bethesda.
Now batting for the Big Train, number 9.
6 runs coming with 2 outs. Jackson, that is what we love to see. The 2-out hitting. Clutch situations is ultimately what wins you games. First pitch to Dylan Murphy in his second at-bat of the inning is a strike. And just kept that fair inside the right field foul pole. Only 320 down the line, but far enough. This ball lined up the middle by Murphy, and it's through for a base hit. His second single of the inning.
I gotta love being 2 for 2 in the third inning from Dylan Murphy. But yeah, this team, hitting is contagious for this squad. In the last 10 innings they've played, this is the third time that they've had 10 or more hitters come to the plate.
They had 10 hitters come to the plate in 2 separate innings yesterday against the Braves. They will now have 11 hitters step to the plate in this inning. Covey having a meeting on the mound with his pitcher. Now the pitching coach is out, and that'll be the second meeting of the inning, and that'll be all for Drew Norton as he exits to the tune of 7 earned runs. New pitcher when we come back on the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the top half of the third. 7 runs in the inning for the Big Train. They lead the DC Grays 8-3. Now Jackson coming into this game, the Big Train lead the league in runs with 42, average at 285, fewest strikeouts with 29, and most extra base hits with 13. And that was coming into this game before they scored 7 in an inning.
Yeah, I mean, the bats have been alive for almost every game this season. I mean, double digits in all but 2 games and 8 already today.
Drew Norton exits after 2 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. The new pitcher is Dean Kira, a side-arming left-hander. He pitched in the first game against the Big Train. He now deals to Alex Peltier in for his second at-bat of the game. He takes a slider just low for a ball. On Peltier. Dylan Murphy over at first. He got up to third thanks to an error by Ahakobi, a throwing error that got down the line. Peltier fouls one off the fencing of the Big Train dugout. Count is now even at 1-1.
Yeah, but Kira looked good against the Big Train in his first appearance. Hasn't gotten back to the hill since then. Trying to just hold Bethesda where they are and give his Grays a chance in this game where they were sitting pretty just a bit ago, up 3-1, and now they've got a big hill to climb.
Kira pitched 1 scoreless inning on opening day against the Big Train. Peltier shows bunt. He misses it, so now he has 2 strikes on him. There will be an appeal to first, and the first base umpire agrees. Peltier went. 1-2, 2 outs, 8-3 Big Train, tap bat for the third.
Yeah, Peltier tried to snap that bunt back, but he was doing it as the ball was coming in, so he was really still offering as the pitch crossed the zone.
Kira peers in, now comes set. Looks at Murphy at first, now comes to the plate. Peltier takes a fastball just inside for a ball. It's 2-2. Two outs. Runner on first. 5-run lead for the Big Train. Dean Kira comes set. Kicks and comes to the plate. Grounded, just foul down the third base line for Peltier, and the count will stay the same.
And Peltier, you say it again, he's over 2 today, but 1 hard hit ball, 1 time driving in a run earlier this inning, but he just looks comfortable at the dish right now, and you wonder if that's a product of coming straight from playing. He played almost every day for East Carolina, and they made a little run in the NCAA postseason.
Peltier and Wright, the only 2 hitters in the Big Train lineup not to record a hit today. As he fouls one again, count will stay at 2-2, but Peltier and Wright are your 2 main base hit guys. Both of them a combined 0 for 4, but the rest of the lineup, particularly the bottom half, has come to play today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dylan Murphy, your 9-hole hitter, 2 hits in this inning. Parker Corbin in the 8th spot, a 3-run jack. Matthew Wesley sends one to the wall in the 7th spot, huge.
Kira kicks and fires the payoff. Half swing by Peltier, but a full swing in the eyes of our home plate umpire. So Kira gets a strikeout to end the inning, but not before 7 runs cross for the Big Train. They lead at 8-3, go into the bottom of the third. Bottom half of the third set to start from Woodbridge High School in Woodbridge, Virginia, home of the Vikings. The DC Grays have seen this game get away from them in the third. They gave up 7 runs. And Jake Titus's day is done for the big train. It will be Jordan Capuano to take things over in the third inning. He has pitched 2 1/3 innings so far this year. 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits allowed, no walks. He's been accurate. And that was the problem last inning for the big train. 3 runs scoring on just hit by pitches and walks.
But Capuano's first outing was against these Grays, also replacing Titus. He came in, stranded the bases loaded with a strikeout, and then worked 2 solid innings, keeping the big train in a game.
Andy Rivera got hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, stole 2 bases, later came around to score. He takes a fastball low. He's ahead 2-0 on Capuano.
Yeah, but the right-hander, Capuano, rushes it up there, high 80s, low 90s. His fastball gets to the plate quick.
2-0, fastball, misses up, and it brushes back Rivera, who has a 3-0 count, looking to get on for the second time in as many innings.
Junior has an energetic delivery, really just reaches out and fires.
Kick in the 3-0, fastball right down Broadway for a strike. In the first game, he took over for Titus in the middle of an inning after he got into trouble. Titus able to finish his inning in this one before Capuano could start his inning fresh. Fastball inside on Rivera, called a strike, and Capuano back in this count. It's 3-2.
Capuano was 2-0 with the big train last year. If he can get 3 innings here, he'll be in the driver's seat for a win.
Full count payoff to Rivera, popped up in the air. It'll get out of play down the first base line. Capuano started his college career at UNC Wilmington before transferring to Frederick Community College. Didn't get too much playing time at UNC Wilmington. Now, Jackson, do you know their mascot? Full count payoff. Slider is driven into center, and it'll get down for a base hit. But we've been playing this with Eliav. Guess the college mascot. Do you know UNC Wilmington's?
I'm going to say the Seahawks. That's what it looks like it would be from the hat that Capuano's wearing in his roster photo.
I think they're the Skyhawks.
Skyhawks. It's almost the opposite of the sea.
So for those keeping track at home, I am now 1 for 4 on assumptions, and Jackson is 1 for 3.
Oh, I'm surprised you remember my score.
Kick and the fire from Capuano. Fastball is high to Isaac Ahakovi, who went down swinging in his first at-bat.
You'll have to remind me what my hit was.
It was where the town in New York was.
Oh, that's right. It was on Long Island.
Capuano comes set, looks down at his glove, now fires. Fastball is low. 2-0 on the catcher, Ahakovi.
Well, given that final season just passed, I'm going to ask for half credit on Red Wolves instead of Red Foxes and Seahawks instead of Skyhawks. I mean, it's got to be worth 0.5 points on the ledger.
2-0, fouled back. So in math class, if you get the first digit right but the last digit right, did you get the right number?
This is more like it's history class where you say, I don't know, like Archduke Ferdinando instead of Ferdinand. You know, really close. You're right on it.
2-1 from Capuano. Fastball just beneath the knees, and it's 3-1. I don't know. I just have a hard time giving out charity points when we're in a competition for the whole year.
I didn't know we were in a competition. I thought this was just like...
Why would I be keeping track?
I don't know.
3-1 from Capuano is just upstairs to Ahakovi. He draws a walk. There will now be runners at first and second with nobody out.
We're hoping Capuano can get out of this inning quickly so we can go back to the non-baseball banter. If this game gets close, we might have to lock in the game once again.
I'm not keeping track of Eliav. It's just if I can trip him up on a mascot this year. I have faith that it'll come.
I wouldn't say all, not near Eliav, but I have a pretty good knowledge of D3 mascots.
First pitch to Ryan Grace. Fastball just beneath the knees.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find something less useful in day-to-day life than knowing that the Concordia College Moorhead sports teams are called the Cobbers. Like the corn.
That is just too deep of a bag of knowledge for me. 1-0 to Grace. Grounded to short. This could be 2. Right to second for 1. Relay throw. In time. A delayed call by our first base umpire, but it's a 6-4-3 double play for the Big Train.
Yeah, it's the 5th twin killing by the Big Train this year. In a big spot, I mean, a chance to spark some momentum for the Grays. First and second, nobody out, and then Capuano spots up a fastball, gets a little rollover from Grace, and then Wright, Martinez, and Gonzalez do the rest.
I was pretty sure that the throw beat the runner Grace, but had to hesitate a little bit, wait for the umpire's ruling. Cued over to third by Owens, throw across. Good scoop at first by Gonzalez, but the throw was late. Owens beats it out. Rivera crosses from third, and it's now 8-4 Big Train.
Yeah, Owens with his big striding swing able to get down the line quickly, and that play is really tough for Corbin because it's spinning hard towards the third base bag, so he can't really come and get it because the hop probably eats him up if he does, so he kind of has to wait for it to come to him. He does, and the throw is really tough to make.
So the lead now cut in half. Check swing by Dixon Monk, and he went for a strike. Rivera led off the inning with a single. Ahakovi moved him to second with a walk, but then Grace grounds into a double play. But Eli Owens beats out a grounder to third to score Rivera from third, and that's how the Grays have pushed across their run in the third. 0-2 now the count on Monk as he took a fastball inside. The speedy Owens crawling to a lead at first, kicking the fire from Capuano. Fastball is up. One-two on Dixon Monk. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning, later came around to score. Trying to extend this inning for the Grays as they chase 4 runs. Kicking the fire from Capuano. Fastball right down Broadway. Called strike 3. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Jackson will be taking care of the play-by-play for the middle innings as we head to the top of the 4th. Welcome back to Woodbridge, Virginia for the 4th inning of play. Bethesda leads 8-4 over DEC. A big top of the 3rd gave the Big Train their lead. Dean Kira facing Brendan Wright to start things off. The sun's dipping below the horizon. The clouds are getting gray and the lights are kicking on. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. The lights are kicking on here at Woodbridge High School field as the first pitch goes low to right. The second one on its way from the southpaw Dean Kira. It's a breaking ball low. Right is ahead in the count.
Yeah, we mentioned Woodbridge High School is the home of the Vikings. It actually says home of the Vikings in left field with green and yellow cups.
Wright takes another one outside, ball 3, but the Woodbridge Vikings logo looks eerily similar to a certain NFL team's.
I would say it looks the exact same with a different colored headband.
Ball 4 to Wright. He'll take first base, reaching for the first time today, extending his on-base streak to 6.
Yeah, he and Peltier are the only two Big Train players yet to get a hit today.
John Martinez has the hit, and it was a big one, a ground ball up the middle that he beat out, hustling all the way to first base that started a run that resulted in a 7-run top of the third. Martinez returns to the bat and gets hit in the knee. He'll take first base, first and second, nobody out.
Yeah, that's a pretty painful place to get hit, right above the knee. That's a pretty sensitive area. Martinez is lingering a little bit, reaching for his leg as he walks to first. We hope he's okay.
Yeah, certainly not a pleasant spot to find a baseball. And it's going to bring up Logan Panett. Panett has reached twice on an error and a walk, has scored both times.
Yeah, so he also hasn't gotten a hit, but until Wright got walked, him and Peltier were the only two that hadn't reached base yet. Panett has scored 2 runs, including a very nice head-first slide into home after Peyton Steele doubled into the left center field gap.
Now batting for the Big
Yeah, something we've seen a lot, actually, just good slides heading into close plays. Haven't seen a lot of Big Train runners gunned, even when throws are beating them. They're just finding a way to get around tags, tap bags, and move around the base paths.
Yeah, they haven't been meaninglessly running into outs on the bases. They did have one pickoff yesterday, but other than that, first 5 games they've been clean.
Yeah, that was the first real mistake on the base paths I can recall seeing, and that was also at a point in the game where it wasn't necessarily concerning. First pitch to Panett was a strike. The second is fouled off his foot.
Yeah, we've seen so many games so far that have just been back and forth with a ton of runs, including the first 2 times these teams played. It was the Grays who jumped out to a big lead. They led it 9-3 going into the late innings. Big Train came back to tie that one. Now they lead 8-4 on the road, and the Grays are the ones trying to come back.
Big Train certainly hoping this one doesn't become interesting as Panett foul tips it into the glove of Isaac Ahakovi for the first out in the top of the 4th. So Dean Kira has faced 4 batters, and none of them have put a ball in play. Strikeout, walk, hit by pitch, strikeout.
Real 3 true outcomes type of guy. But the lefty has pitched solidly against the Big Train so far this year. We mentioned how he pitched a scoreless inning against them on opening day, yet to give up a run so far.
Now he's got a real tough customer, Peyton Steele. The ball is dropped by Ahakovi on the pitch, and scampering over to third is Brennan Wright, and following him to second is John Martinez.
Yeah, rough day for Ahakovi. A costly pass ball there now ruins the chance of an inning-ending double play. And he did make a throwing error to first that allowed Dylan Murphy to go first to third.
And Steele hits that hard towards Sung at second base. That's going to bring in a run. The throw drags Jenkins a little wide, but he holds the bag to retire Steele, but that's going to be an RBI ground out, the 3rd of the day for the Crimson Tide outfielder.
Yeah, not just great job there, does a job. And that could have been a tailor-made double play ball if Ahakovi doesn't let that one get by.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the little plays like that matter so much. Just 90 feet costs you a run. The first pitch to Emilio Gonzalez is below the zone. He's got RBI in each of his first 2 trips to the dish via ground out and a single. Gonzalez has Martinez 90 feet away. And he fouls one back into the fencing surrounding home plate. Here at Woodbridge High School, there's chain link fencing at the backstop. Behind that is a large press box wrapping around all the way from behind home to the first base dugout. The 1-1, swinging a line drive into right center. That's going to get down and roll towards the wall. Gonzalez rounds first hard, stops there, but RBI knock struck well once again by the Owl.
He's hot right now. And after starting the first couple games, 2 for 13, 5 hits in his last 7 at-bats, 3 for 5 yesterday, 2 for 3 so far today. So he's 5 for 8 his last 8 trips to the plate. He was a guy that you knew teams couldn't keep down for long.
Matthew Wesley fouls one between his legs and down the third base line, but it's been a bit of both for Gonzalez. That one absolutely no cheapie. The first one, a little looper that finds a way to drop down, but when you're hot, and everything seems to find a way, whether you're hitting it hard or just looping it down. But now Gonzalez is 5 for 10 against lefties as a lefty on the season with that single. Pitch to Wesley is in there for a strike.
And his 3 hits yesterday were crushed. Those were no ground balls with eyes. Those were some screamers off the bat.
Including his first extra base hit of the season. Wesley down 0-2 with the Big Train leading 10-4. That pitch is high. 2-run inning. Wright and Martinez leading off, reaching on free passes. Pass ball moved them both over. Peyton Steele brought them in. And then Gonzalez singled in John Martinez. Wesley looking to move Gonzalez around. Wesley stays alive, fouling off the curveball. Dean Kira, we mentioned it way back on Wednesday, but he's got that big bender.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Big Train are liking the fact that they have finally gotten to him, pushing across 2 runs in this inning.
Another 2-strike pitch. Wesley takes it well outside. As my grandpa would always say, the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
You've said that in the first couple of games.
Probably say it too much.
I did not know that came from your grandpa, though.
I mean, probably came to somewhere before him, but the deuces are unwild as Wesley takes a fastball that he thought was outside. The umpire says, "No way, Jose." Sends him back to the dugout. But the Big Train push across 2 runs on 1 hit, leave Gonzalez at first base. They lead 10-4 going into the bottom of the 4th. "10-4, good buddy." That's the score right now as we head to the bottom of the 4th. The Bethesda Big Train lead the DC Grays by 6 runs, with Jordan Capuano returning for his 2nd inning of work, facing the top of the home team's lineup. Ryan Sung has reached in both of his first 2 plate appearances, but has not scored. He takes a fastball at the letters inside for ball 1.
Yeah, rocket single in his first at-bat, a walk in his second at-bat. He's seeing the ball well, and this will be his first at-bat against Capuano.
The second pitch he sees from the Frederick Community College product just below the zone. Sung from Washington University, hails from McLean, Virginia, stands at 5'8", 170 pounds. Straight up and down stance, holds the bat down on the knob in the right-handed batter's box. Swings and misses.
Yeah, Capuano able to get a strike there. The leadoff man has reached for the Grays in every single inning, hoping that is not the case here in the bottom of the 4th.
That pitch to him, taken first strike 2, but Sung attending Washington University. That is right down the street from my home in St. Louis, in University City, a heck of a school.
Do you know what their mascot is?
They are the Bears.
I did not know that.
And Sung check swing, did he go? You betcha. He's punched out the second K in a row for Capuano.
Yeah, nice job there. That slider just dropped out from underneath Sung. Half swing, but couldn't hold up. That could have been a called strike as well. Just a beautiful pitch from Jordan Capuano.
And to get into Washington University, you got to be one smart cookie. I'm sure Sung is, but he was fooled that time by Capuano's off-speed pitch. He goes with the slider again in a good spot, but deemed low by our home plate umpire to Noel Rivera. The 1-0 from Capuano. At the knees, but inside. Capuano comes set at the belt, taps the foot once, twice, thrice, now delivers. Outside, and he's down 3-0 to the Grays shortstop Rivera.
Yeah, every at-bat counts in a game, even though it might not seem like that, down 6 runs in the 4th inning. We've seen so many games where teams have come back from down 5, 6 runs. Got to take every at-bat. Can't take any at-bats for granted.
Noel Rivera squared around on that 3-0 pitch, just trying to throw off the rhythm of Capuano, who dropped in a slider in the 3-0 count. Love the confidence from the right-hander there to go with the breaking pitch. Down 3-0, lands it well, and returns to the well for another strike, bringing the count full.
And beautiful front hip slider on Rivera. He was fooled a little bit. Had the bat frozen on his shoulder. 1 strike away from 3 straight strikeouts is Capuano.
Pre-pitch routine comes to an end. The slider is in there. Called strike 3. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night from Capuano after going down 3-0.
Now batting for your Grays, number 4, Ethan Nagy.
Yeah, Capuano with his A stuff here. 3 straight strikeouts, 2 looking on some beautiful sliders. You got Dixon Monk to freeze. Looking to strike out the side here with Ethan Nagy coming up, who's already struck out once today.
Struck out once today and twice on the season. He takes another slider. They're just living with that pitch right at the knees of these Grays hitters, and they're just window shopping right now. Swing and a miss. Capuano's spinning it really, really well this inning.
Yeah, you're talking about window shopping a little bit. 2 hits in the game for the Grays. Sung and Rivera both with leadoff singles. And Owens with a single in the 3rd. So 3 hits, but a lot of walks and strikeouts. It's good to be patient, but eventually you need to add up the hits at some point.
That slider left up a little bit, and Nagy will see another pitch. He's struck out and walked in this contest. The designated hitter working in the 3-hole. He wears his white pinstriped pants pulled up to his knees, showing blue socks. He'll see a 1-2. Swing and a pop. That's twisting up over the chain link fence, over the Bethesda dugout, and out of play.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be close to our Kingsford tent over here. But
I don't know if charcoal branded tents are going to protect us from falling baseballs, but I sure hope so.
this is a nice tent. Very easy to set up and permanently sits in my back seat.
Another foul ball from Nagy. The at-bat extends.
It's easy to set up because it's brand new, that's why.
And a ball kicked its way out onto the field. Parker Corbin runs on out behind the mound, grabs it and flings it into the dugout, and will return. Capuano looking to win the battle with Nagy. Swinging a liner into center field. Peltier chasing it. It'll drop in front of him, hop into his glove for a 2-out single.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Nagy. Just waited, fouled some stuff off, waited for Capuano to come anywhere near the middle of the plate, and just stuck the bat out, got the barrel to it, lines it straight up the middle for a 2-out knock.
Yeah, again, Capuano has been spinning it well, but you throw enough sliders to somebody, and if you leave it above the knees, they'll hit it eventually, and that's what Nagy did. And now it brings up Jenkins. He goes first pitch fastball to him, and I think that time sitting slider never even moved as the heater grooved in at the belt. Another fastball for a strike.
Beautiful pitch right there, down and in. 0-2 on Jenkins. Has options on how he wants to try to strike him out, but looking for his 4th strikeout and as many outs is Capuano.
Gray's third baseman has grounded out, lined out. Here's the 0-2. Bounced in the dirt, scoots by Murphy, and Nagy moves up to second base.
And Murphy didn't have a chance on that one. That hit the front part of the plate and just kicked straight up. Bit of an unlucky bounce if that hits half an inch before, half an inch after Murphy. Probably with a good chance to block that one.
And now they'll have to go most likely to the secondary signs with the runner at second base, able to peer in and give his hitter Jenkins a bit of assistance. No chicanery going on out there, so Capuano delivers, and that's a ground ball towards Corbin at third base. Fields on the high hop, throws to first in time to retire the on-rushing Jenkins. One hit, but he's left on here in the bottom of the 4th. On to the 5th we go, still 10-4. The big train returned to Shirley Povich Field on Thursday. And strut your stuff through time if you haven't already. Buy your tickets at bigtrain.org/tickets. That's BIGTRAIN.org/tickets. Parker Corbin, last at bat, he knocked a home run over the right field wall. He'll look to do the same against Dean Kira here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, barely kept up all fair down the 320 sign over in right field. Good to see him break out. Started the year 0 for 13, but to get a big home run, that's a confidence boost for the rest of the season.
And the first 2 pitches to him are both low. So he's well ahead 2-0. Chance to uncork a big swing in a hitter's count. Pats the bat on the shoulder, raises it up, and takes a pitch at the knees for a strike. That one's in the dirt, scooped up by Covey. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, you don't see Kira walk too many people. Left-hander with a lower slot. Normally pretty accurate, but he's fallen behind in some counts here early.
And he'll lose Parker Corbin entirely, base on balls for the Big Train third baseman. And it brings up Dylan Murphy, who had an excellent third inning. 2 singles in the frame. Dylan Murphy has been trading off with Jacob Hawk behind the plate for the Big Train. His jersey and pants are muddied up from a busy trip around the bases and his work behind the dish. He takes the first pitch low.
He has hits in both of his first 2 starts. 1 hit again at the Crop Dusters, 1 hit at the Giants, and 2 hits so far at the Grays. Yet to play in a home game, but he's been a road warrior so far.
Swings through that pitch from Kira, but Murphy had one of the oddest days at the plate I've ever seen against the only Crop Dusters, where he had 2 9-6 fielder's choices on his scorecard.
Yeah, and both of those were because the runner in front of him sitting at first had to wait for a ball that was either going to get caught or not. It wasn't really his fault. He just got robbed of 2 hits. So he's I think swinging a lot better of a bat than the stats indicate. Stats indicate that he's hitting 250, but easily had 2 hits taken away from him.
Yeah, he should have been 3 for 4 against only both of those well-deserved hits. Struck well in the right field. As you mentioned, just the runner in front of him hung up.
2 hits today, though, both in the 3rd inning. I'd say he's getting that luck back a little bit.
Kira gives a look over to Parker Corbin. The throw is nowhere near close. Murphy is down in the count 1-2. Pitch to him, pops out of the hand of Kira and is way upstairs.
I wonder how long Kira's going to go here. Starting to lose the control a little bit. Norton was left out there for a while in that 3rd inning.
Another curveball outside. Count now full.
And we've been mentioning how no game is over in this Cal Ripken League, but you got to think if the Big Train put up another big inning, a 3 or 4 run inning, things could start getting really bleak for the Grays. They're going to need to shut down the pitching in this middle innings.
That one's outside, back-to-back bases on balls from Kira to Corbin and Murphy. And it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out for Alex Peltier.
Now batting, number 1.
And
Alex
Peltier, yet to join the hit and on-base parade today, 0 for 3. Has hit the ball well in his first 2 at-bats, struck out in the 3rd. His 2nd at-bat of the 3rd inning, he struck out. But it's hard to keep a guy like him down, especially in these high-scoring games when you get 6, maybe 7 trips to the plate. Already his 4th here in the 5th. I'm sure he's not going to be held off the board for too long.
Squares around a bunt on his first pitch and fouls it back to the screen. That's strike 1 for the Red Sox fan who enjoys pitching. Probably did some of that at Paul VI High School, where he was a 4-year letterman in baseball. That's in Haymarket, Virginia. Near Haymarket, Virginia, his hometown. Squares again, that bunt gets down. Kira picks it up, throws to first, not in time. Peltier beats it out, a bunt single in back-to-back games for the Big Train center fielder.
Yeah, and the bases loaded now with nobody out. A perfect chance to really break this game even more open than they have so far. You got the middle of the order, 2, 3, 4. Wright, Martinez, Panette coming up. The Big Train could really put this game away here early.
Josh Skoronsky standing in the on-deck circle, perhaps hitting for Martinez right at the plate, though now. He grounds it towards the shortstop. Rivera comes in, shovels the sung, the throw over to first. Wright beats it out, so it's going to be a fielder's choice, 1 out on the play, but Corbin's going to score, and it's 11-4 Bethesda.
And once again, the speed from Brennan Wright causing problems for opposing teams. They do get the out at second, but beats out the throw at first, which gets him an RBI. The run would have scored either way, but if you ground into a double play and a run scores, you don't get credit for the RBI. But 11-4 now, and Skoronsky coming in, who was one of the players that we were the most excited about to come into this season. A little bit of a slow start, didn't play the last couple of games, but he has a chance to really continue to break things open.
He swings the first pitch, grounds it over towards the first baseman. He taps the bag, throw goes to second. The tag is in time. A double play on the first pitch. Skoronsky sees, so the run won't score. The Big Train get 1 on 1 hit. They'll leave 1 runner on as we move to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through here in Woodbridge. That double play at the end of the inning, there was a close play at second and also at home and away, Quincy.
Yeah, so tapping the bag at first was Jenkins. Through to second, Rivera had to apply the tag on Peltier, and he did. Or on Wright. Made the tag on Wright. Coming home from third is Dylan Murphy, and he scored. At least our technical director, Gibson Hurd, said that he thought that the run scored before the runner at second was tagged. And so the inning ended. Head coach Sal Colangelo, a lengthy discussion with our home plate umpire between innings. But ultimately they don't add the run. It's still an 11-4 game. But I believe that since it is a tag play, if the run would have scored before Wright was tagged at second, it should count.
Yeah, it should count, but I think that was just a discussion. I believe the umpires didn't have conclusive evidence that Murphy touched home plate before the tag was applied, which would make his run count.
Well, there's no replay possibility here like there is in the NCAA. So it would have taken another umpire to speak up and say, yeah, I think the run scored, which in this state of the game, not something that got brought up.
That pitch swung on and missed by Andy Rivera. The count is now 2-2. First pitch fastball strike, 2 sliders out of the zone. Then a fastball sneaks by the left fielder to even up the count at 2 apiece. Capuano has 3 punch-outs in his 2 innings of work. And it won't be 4 just yet. That slider is outside and low. It's moving past dusk and closer to night here in Woodbridge. Lights in full effect here at Woodbridge High School. There's trees beyond the right field fence, a football field beyond the left. 3-2 pitch. Up and in, ball 4.
There's also a softball field just beyond the backstop of the baseball field. But the leadoff man is on for the Grays, and they're going to a pinch runner here with nobody out in the 5th.
It's going to be number 11, Andrew Gary.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He did some pitching in the game on opening night.
That he did. He pitched an inning, gave up 3 runs. And he put the runners on base that would score on Logan Panette's grand slam. Pitch from Capuano is past Isaac Ahakovi for strike 1.
Yeah, Ruggieri has actually gotten some at-bats this season. He's gotten 3 at-bats and a hit. So playing both ways for the Grays.
That slider is swung on and knocked into center field. That's going to be a hit. First and second, nobody outs. And now Ryan Grace.
Now batting for your Grays, number 16, Ryan Grace.
Yeah, I wonder why the Grays chose now, down 11-4 in the 5th, to go to the pinch runner. I guess time is of the essence always when you're down 7 runs, but 2 runners on, thanks to a walk and a single. They have a good chance to get back into this one here.
Might almost be the other way, though, given that you're down 7 and Rivera's played nearly every day. Strike 1 from Capuano to Grace. Might be trying to get Rivera a blow for the rest of this game and have Ruggieri get some at-bats in a ballgame that at the moment is not at all close. Swinging a grounder towards Corbin at third. He goes to second, fielded there by Martinez. The throw to first, double play. Second twin killing in the 3 innings that Capuano has worked, and there's 2 down in the bottom of the 5th.
And that's the second time that Grace himself has grounded into a double play. 5-4-3 on that one. The Grays just some tough luck in this one. It felt like they had a lot of bounces go their way on opening night, but 2 double plays in this game. Just the batted ball luck has really just not been with them tonight.
That was a really nifty turn by the second baseman on that play. The pitch is grounded towards Gonzalez at first. He bobbles it, flips to Capuano, who can't beat the onrushing Eli Owens. Infield hit brings home Ruggieri, the pinch runner, and it is now 11-5.
Now batting for your Grays, number 25,
And
Dixon Monk.
my apologies, with Martinez being pinch hit for by Skoronski, it was Corbin making the turn at second base. At third now is, looking for the number here out there. That pitch is low. It may be Wesley moved in with Skoronski heading to the outfield. Dixon Monk is at the plate now with the batting conference. That's why we're in a break in this 6-run ball game. I should have been quicker on this, but yes, Parker Corbin over to second from third, Wesley into third from left, and Josh Skoronski, the pinch hitter, stays in the game in left field. Capuano versus Monk now. It's a 1-0 count. Breaking ball strike.
Yeah, a lot of defensive substitutions. Some of them I did not notice. I think that's some of the hardest things to manage as a baseball broadcaster, because a lot of times it's just a different guy that goes to the outfield in between innings. You don't really notice or are unable to see a number.
And to be fair, though, I don't think the press box noticed either because we didn't hear anything in between innings. But we've got it all sorted out now, and Capuano looking to sort out the Grays here in the bottom of the fifth. Owens is on first. Monk's at the dish. Capuano's towing the rubber, and he's going to deliver a 2-1. The runner takes off. Throw bobbled by Murphy, and his toss to second is not in time. Owens steals second base.
Yeah, and I don't think that he would have. I don't think he would have gotten him even if he had that cleanly. Owens with a great jump over there at first.
And he's plenty of speed. We saw him beat out an infield single not 2 minutes ago. That pitch was high, so it's 3-1 to Dixon Monk, today's third baseman. He swings and fouls it back over the right shoulder of catcher Dylan Murphy. Capuano looking to retire his last batter of the inning and put himself in line for a win. Cut on and chopped down the third base line. It's going to spin foul.
I'm surprised neither one of us has failed to mention this, but no dirt down the first and third base line here at Woodbridge High School. All grass until you get to the infield dirt. There is a circle of dirt for the plate and the batter's boxes, but no grass down the baselines.
That's an all-natural surface, grass and dirt, and like you mentioned, that's exactly how the infield is. 320 down both lines, 380 to straightaway center field. There's sparse signage in right representing the DC Grays, and then a sign in left representing the Woodbridge High School Vikings.
I do like the cups that they put in there. I like it when teams do that in the holes of the fence.
The pitch. It's low ball 4, laid off by Dixon Monk. He reaches for his second time today, and the inning is extended back to Ryan Sung's spot in the lineup, where he'll be replaced. The pinch hitter here is number 19, TJ Adanizio.
Yeah, Adanizio got the start in the game against the big train on opening day. He did the catching in that game. That's Aha Covey that does the catching. I believe he played the outfield.
Yeah, I believe he was our center fielder. And he steps up there now with a short sleeve hoodie underneath his white pinstriped jersey. And he takes ball 1.
You don't see too many hitters past the high school level wear a hooded sweatshirt underneath their jersey.
My good friend Will Schneff did that so much for our Carleton baseball team that he gained the nickname Hoodie Schneff and eventually just Hoodie.
That's great. I love that.
Hoodie Adanizio takes a pitch low and outside for ball 2. Back-to-back hitters have reached for the Grays. This infield single from Owens that scored a run. A walk to Dixon Monk. And now the pinch hitter Adanizio is ahead of Capuano 2-0. Just misses with that breaking ball. Capuano thought he hit his spot.
Yeah, Adanizio made a terrific catch into the gap in left center field on opening day. I'd imagine he's going to be heading to the outfield after this inning with his speed.
Ball 4 to Adanizio. And here is another pinch hitter in for Noel Rivera with the bases loaded. And now all of a sudden, it's not a game where you might want to put in your reserves. Not necessarily reserve, it's Joey Chitla.
Well, they're putting in 2 people that started on opening night for him. So
yeah.
This isn't just bringing anyone in off the bench. These are legitimate players that put up 12 runs against the big train on the first game of the year.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not really, you're not waving the white flag as the Grays, just getting a different group of guys looks in a game that's, well, started out well for him, then went south fast in the top of the third. Joey Chitla is 3 for 12 on the young season. He's scored 3 runs, walked 5 times, so he's rocking an on-base percentage that's a healthy .500.
Yeah, and Rivera had a slow night, a pop-up, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout, so I don't necessarily hate moving to a fresh at-bat in a pressure situation.
3 substitutes in the inning, hoping the new blood draws blood from the big train. Ground ball up the middle, right slides in, can't come up with it, scoots into center field. Peltier charging in as the runner moves around third. Monk is gonna score. 2-run single by the pinch hitter Chitla, and it's 11-7.
Yeah, and it paid off. Just a nice ground ball up the middle for Chitla, just out of the reach of right at short. And, you know, the Grays coaching staff, knowing something that we don't, they're right back into this one. Only down 4 now.
And the 7-11 scoreline a bit inconvenient, pun intended, for the big train now. It's a ball game once again here in the bottom of the 5th. Capuano trying to hold it where it is. First pitch strike to Nagy.
It almost seems like up to this point these two have played a mirror image of the opening day game. It was the road team, the Grays, who jumped out to the big lead with the big train slowly chipping away. This time, the road team, the big train, getting out to the big lead with the hometown Grays chipping away.
But the 2-out struggles persist for the big train here. That pitch is in there for a strike. The big double play downing Ryan Grace segued into 4 straight hitters reaching base, 2 of them pinch hitters, Adonisio and Chitla. Nagy still hitting for himself with 2 runners on and 2 outs, down 0-2. Swing and a ground ball, finds a hole through the right side. Coming in is Steele. He makes the throw towards home. It's cut off by Gonzalez. He'll throw to third. And sliding in safely is Chitla, an RBI single for Nagy. And the comeback inning keeps coming for the DC Grays.
Once again, it's just been so hard for the big train to find the 3rd out of an inning, and Capuano really starting to labor a little bit out there, and the Grays now bring the tying run to the plate as they've now batted around. This is the 9th hitter to hit this inning.
Capuano now in total has thrown 66 pitches in his 2 2/3, trying to retire the 0 for 3 Jenkins. Pop fly, short center field into the Bermuda Triangle, but Peltier races it down behind second base. And 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th for the Grays on 4 hits. They strand 2. We'll head to the 6th with Bethesda leading 11-8. We're back for the top of the 6th, and now insurance runs for the Bethesda Big Train. Seems a bit more important. Dean Kira returning to the mound to face the middle of the Big Train order, starting off with Logan Panett.
Yeah, 4 runs in that Bottom half of the fifth for the Grays. This is yet another game where we've reached the middle innings, and there's just been fireworks all game long. So many hits from both sides in this one. It's just been a slugfest. 18 hits, and we've only played through 5 innings, over 3 an inning.
Just back and forth from the offenses. Maybe that's what we'll see from these teams throughout this season, as that pitch is way high from Kira to Panett.
In the big train, they've scored now, I believe it's 10 runs or more in every single game other than their first win, which was a 3-1 win in Silver Spring against the T-Bolts. The offense has just come to play. It's been up to the pitching to try to keep up their end of the bargain.
Breaking ball outside from the lefty out of the Stevens Institute of Technology.
You know what their mascot is?
The Stevens.
Do you actually know that?
No.
Okay.
That's not even, don't count that as an assumption.
I won't, but you said that so confidently, I thought you knew that.
Let's go Steves. The native of Wayne, New Jersey, Kira, is down in the count 2-1, or 3-1 rather, to Logan Panett. Swinging a line drive into left field. That's heading right for Andy Rivera, who closes the glove on it, or rather Andy Rivera's replacement, Andrew Ruggieri.
Now batting for big.
So the Stevens Institute of Technology mascot is Adela the Duck. So I believe they are the Ducks.
Good to know. I'll register that one for later. The changes for the DC Grays defense are listed like this. Chitla's at short now, Adenizio at second, Ruggieri in center field, and Eli Owens shifts over to left. So Eli Owens made the play out there. Pitch is outside. It's 2-1 to Peyton Steele, who's fully decked out in Crimson Tide gear. Crimson Tide red shin guard, cleats, and batting gloves.
And the bat itself.
That ball is low, ball 4 to Steele, who has had 4 productive plate appearances, a single, a double, an RBI groundout, and now a walk.
And that's what you'd expect from a guy coming out of the SEC that you put square in the middle of the lineup. Good start to his big train career.
We rarely seen Steele make an out, at very least an unproductive one. Yesterday, he fouled out and flew out, but reached base the other 3 times and scored. First pitch was swung on and missed by Emilio Gonzalez, who has 1 RBI in each of his 3 trips to the plate. He has slugged against lefties so far this year. Facing one now in Kira. He foul tips it, and it scoots past the catcher to the screen.
Yeah, you'd like to see a good response inning from the big train. The Grays have emptied the bench, and the bench produced to 4 runs, so you really would like to not see 0 runs in this inning, because you got to imagine the bats are coming for the Grays in the next half.
Steele takes off running, and the hit and run works to perfection. It's guided through the left side of the infield by Gonzalez, and Steele slides into third. The throw bounces away from Monk there, and Gonzalez reads it well and scoots over to second. So it's second and third, 1 out for Matthew Wesley.
Just a great piece of base running there from Steele. Off for second, ball is hit where the shortstop would have been. That would have been an inning-ending double play if he wasn't running, but ball gets through into left, keeps the wheels moving, gets to third, beats the throw, and then with the throw being bobbled, a heads-up play from Gonzalez to get over to second. So now with only 1 out, there's no possibility of a double play, but a single would score 2 runs.
Yeah, that's great work from the big train, and that's a two-hopper over to the second baseman Adanizio, and because of the base running, it allows Peyton Steele to score instead of, again, being a potential ending double play if Gonzalez stays at first.
Yeah, every base matters, and you're seeing that right now as the Big Train make it 12-8. Just every single time you can get another 90 feet, it might not be that you're 90 feet away from scoring. It's just that what comes after you will be more productive. Every single base you take, more possibilities arise for good things.
The Big Train re-extend their lead to 4 runs with Parker Corbin now at the dish. Gonzalez is at third. There's 2 outs in the inning. Corbin, slightly open stance, takes the breaking ball upstairs. Corbin holds the bat out straight, examines it for flaws, decides there are none, and returns to the batter's box. That pitch is low for ball 2.
Is that what you do when you extend your bat, examine it for flaws?
I assume so. Looking for a crack? I don't know. Probably not.
See,
I think it's just routine.
I normally do it just to stretch my arm out for a little bit,
I
or for intimidation.
I think it's just one of those
purposes.
things you just do as routine. I was just trying to make it poetic is all, Quincy. You don't have to look too far into it.
I was just asking.
Swing and a foul down the left field line. It's going to stay in play. Racing over is Monk, sliding, and he can't come up with it.
That would have been a really impressive catch if he came up with that. Went into the feet first slide while ranging over his shoulder. And I'm surprised he even got a glove on that one. That could have been a SportsCenter top 10 nominee if he came down with that.
Yeah, off the bat, it looked like it was squarely ticketed for no man's land there in the ample foul territory down the left field line. But yeah, Monk did a great job, make it even close. But as it is, Corbin gets another life. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and he takes the pitch low. Count is filled up. Corbin has scored twice today on a home run and a walk. And he walks once again. That's ball 4. And despite his 0 for start to the season, he has reached in all but one of his appearances this year.
Yeah, with 2 bases open to a guy that had hit a home run earlier today, I don't hate the decision to try to pick around him and not give him anything too good to hit. You still have a base open here with Murphy coming to the plate.
You're facing Dylan Murphy, but
he's had a good day today as well. 2 hits and a walk.
Yeah.
He's reached base every time.
You can't ask for more from your 9-hitter than going 2 for 2 with a walk. And that's a broken bat ground ball towards Chitla at short. He fields, throws in the run, and it is on target to Jenkins. That's going to retire Dylan Murphy and cost him a bat in the process. The Big Train scrape 1 back on 1 hit. They leave 2 runners on. They lead by 4 going into the bottom of the 6th. Michael Cass is out there on the mound, and we've got a bit of a mystery on our hands. Hopefully about to be solved by Raquel Ordonez. And Michael Cass pitching now doesn't have a number 16 jersey on him, so he's wearing a Woodbridge Vikings number 16 black jersey.
It looks very similar. It's a black jersey with green script lettering and a little yellow number 16. It looks very. If the letters were white, you wouldn't even really be able to tell from a distance.
But whatever jersey he's had on, Cass will look to hold the game where it is.
I'll tell you, you got to have a lot of confidence in your pitcher to be able to put him out on a day where he forgets his jersey. Going through the lengths to find a jersey for him at the high school that you're playing at with his same number shows that there's a reason he's out there in the 6th inning protecting a 4-run lead.
He entered for the first time this year against these same Grays, going through a similar pitching rotation in today's game as they did, given that it's 4 days of rest away.
I would think you would want to pitch some different guys against the same team and not pitch any familiar faces, but you're eventually going to play the same team 5-6 times throughout the year.
Swing and a miss. Michael Cass sets down Andrew Ruggieri for his first collegiate strikeout, and he just gunned it by him.
Some big velocity on that pitch from Cass.
Batting for your Grays, number 8, Isaac Hakovi.
Cass attended Cardinal Gibbons High School and won a state championship there. Made his collegiate debut back on Wednesday. Took a tough luck loss after not being able to record an out, but has an out already through one plate appearance. Now Isaac Hakovi, first pitch outside, second pitch low.
Now, I know he's only recorded one out, but let's say he finishes the game, goes 4 scoreless. Do you keep the high school jersey as a little souvenir, as a hey, look, this is what I did with this?
Some poor left fielder on the Vikings next year is going to be, I wanted to wear 16 since my dad wore it back in the day, and they're going to, who's Michael Cass? He's got my jersey? Who is this kid? Cass gets the slider past Hakovi there. It's now 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Off the edge. The 3-1 is high, ball 4. I don't know if you can hear it on the broadcast. We can hear it over our headsets. There's a thumping coming from behind the dugouts. One of our big train pitchers using the weighted balls to go through their pre-outing routine, becoming ever more popular in today's game. A way to get the arm warmed up. Those in the stretchy rubber bands called Jaeger bands, used by many pitchers to warm up the arms and upper bodies. Swing and a miss by Ryan Grace, who's had a tough day at the plate, to say the least, Quincy.
Yeah, he has. 2 double plays, has a runner on first, so he could end the inning with a third. But you mentioned the weighted balls. You see hitters warm up with a weight on their bat in the on-deck circle all the time. It took a while, but pitchers have started to do the same.
Second pitch to Grace is low. It's 1-1 here. Comes the pitch from Cass. He kicks and delivers a fastball by the bat of the right fielder, Grace. Swing and a poke down the right field line, out of play into the big train bullpen. Cass peers in to the fingers of Dylan Murphy, who scrawls out a sign in between his legs, and Cass nods his affirmative and pitches. Slider outside. The right-hander set at the belt. Pitch on the way. That's low and stabbed by Murphy to keep Covey put at first base. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Ball 4 just outside. Back-to-back walks issued by the native of Fort Lauderdale. They'll look to get back in the good books against Eli Owens, the speedy outfielder.
Yeah, and Owens has had a great day so far today. Has scored 2 runs, reached in all 3 plate appearances, and has 2 hits and a stolen base. And he has a favorable righty-lefty matchup against Cass. So he could, with 2 runners on and only 1 out, he could really get the Grays in serious danger of tying this game back up.
Owens cuts under that first pitch. Owens, as we mentioned, starts with those feet together, the front foot barely touching the ground. Flamingo stance, and he strides out that right leg, comes to a point, and then swings. And with that swing, he pops it up. It's curving in the high night sky towards the third baseman, Wesley, who closes the glove on it. Tough pop-up play. Lost in the lights nearly for a second, but he makes the grab for out number 2.
Yeah, infield fly situation, so even if he did drop that, no harm, no foul, the batter would still be out. But he ranged all the way over to the shortstop spot to go and get that one, twisting very high in the night sky. Those are... they look like easy catches on TV, but not always the easiest ball to come down with.
Dixon Monk trying to make this inning productive for his Grays. He has reached and scored twice on a hit by pitch and a walk, and he takes a fastball high for ball 1.
Yeah, I'd say it's paramount that if the Grays want to get back at this game, they get a hit or at least a walk out of Monk here. You got to score a run and at least cut this to 3 going in to the late innings. They have 2 runners on.
The 5'11" infielder from Brandywine, Maryland, takes ball 2 at the eyes. Cass gives an ever so slight incline of the head to nod yes to Murphy's sign, checks on the runner once, twice, now pitches. It looked good from where we were sitting, but the umpire does not side with us, and it's 3-0.
I wouldn't be surprised if Monk tries to attack one here. This could be a spot where you swing 3 out.
I wouldn't have been surprised either, but he does take the fastball down the pipe for strike 1. Cass looking to work his way back in this plate appearance. A 6-1 righty. Pitches. Strike 2. Monk was about to undo the shin guard, toss the bat, but the ump called the strike quickly enough to save him from readjusting the straps.
That was right in the same pitch the last one was. Runners with a head start here now.
Runners go. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Michael Cass strands 2 with 2 punch outs in the inning. No hits, no runs for the DC Grays. And Quincy Bell will tell you about the remainder of this ballgame when we return.
Welcome back. You're listening live from Woodbridge, Virginia, where your Bethesda Big Train currently lead the DC Grays 12-8 heading into the late innings. Make sure you join us on Saturday at Shirley Povich Field for Fan Fest. From 5 to 7 meet players. Broadcasters like me and Jackson will be there. Eliav will be there as well as all the other interns that help make the home and road games for the Big Train possible. Swing and a miss by Alex Peltier to lead off the 7th. We have a new pitcher to tell you about as Dean Kira's day is over after 2 1/3 innings. It'll be James Pedas, a 6'3", 200-pounder from McLean, Virginia, out of Dickinson College. He runs a fastball in on Peltier, and it hits him in the hand. He has a free pass to first. But yeah, make sure you come to Fan Fest. All the interns will be there. The players will be there. And there will be a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah, always great to spend more time with the Big Train whenever you got it.
So now Brennan Wright will step in. No hits so far today, but he has scored on a walk.
And he picked up an RBI by beating out a potential double play at first.
He has a runner on first. Peltier is over there. James Pedas currently sits with no appearances on the year. This is his first time pitching for the Grays this year. The righty kicks and fires. Peltier off for second, and Wright lays down a bunt. Pedas off the mound. He'll throw to first, not in time, and the ball gets away up the right field line. Peltier windmill at third. He will come around and score without a throw. Wright is up to second, takes a turn, thinks about 3, but he'll stay there after the reach down air.
But that's just destructive speed at the top of the lineup. Peltier reaches on the hit by pitch, and then Wright, plenty fast in his own right, lays down a good enough bunt to force a tough play out of Pedas. He throws it away, and Wright able to make it to second, and Peltier running on the pitch, trying to steal, makes it all the way home on a ball that never went more than 30 feet.
So now Josh Skoronski will step in. 13-8 now, the lead in favor of the Big Train in the top half of the 7th. Pedas delivers high to Skoronski.
And it looks like, as of right now, they're going to give that a hit and an error for Wright. So saying he reached first on an infield single and then will advance on an error. So that helps out the batting average of the Bethesda infielder.
His first hit of the day as well. Now 1 for 4. Pedas kicks and fires. There's a strike right down Broadway. It's 1-1 on the Winthrop product, Skoronski. Do you know what Winthrop's mascot is, Jackson?
They're the hawk. They're some sort of hawk. They're an eagle. Are they the Eagles?
I was going to guess Eagles. I was unaware. Off for third is Wright. He will get there without a throw. Picked a good pitch to go on. Slider in the dirt from Pedas. Ahead in the count 2-1 now, Skoronski. It is the Eagles. So Jackson and I both pick up a point.
Somewhere, Eliav is offering a little smirk at us having to think about it.
2-1, Pedas kicks and fires. Skoronski takes just above the letters for a ball. It's 3-1. So I believe that puts me at 2 for 5 and you at 2 for 4. I think.
You're shooting 500.
3-1. Coming set is Pedas. Kicks and fires to the Winthrop Eagles. Skoronski. He takes a slider outside for a ball. There will now be runners at the corners with still nobody out for Panett.
Skoronski has now walked 6 times this season. His on-base percentage is .500 for the year.
Already in this game, 12 hits for the Big Train, but no hits yet for Panett. An error, a walk, a reached on error, a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout for him. He takes low, runner off for second. Skoronski, he's there.
And that's a 3rd straight game that he's played in with a stolen base for Josh Skoronski.
Had a stolen base against the Thunderbolts on Friday and against the Giants on Saturday. Did not play in the game yesterday, but now with a stolen base today. Kick in the fire to Panett. Takes outside for a ball. It's 2-0. 13-8, the lead for your Bethesda Big Train. Trying to avenge their opening day loss against the DC Grays and get to 500 on the year at 3-3. Skaronski takes a strike just beneath the knees, and that was a delayed call by our umpire, Jackson. The throw was already being made back to the pitcher by the time he called that a strike.
And just beneath the knees might be generous.
It's 2-1 on Panett. When a lot of people in here think it should be 3-0, takes another pitch at a similar spot. That one misses low, and Panett looked back at the umpire to make sure.
Yeah, that was in the exact same spot as the pitch before. Granted, the catcher Akovi did fumble it, trying to drag it back up into the zone, so less likely to get the call, as we've discussed. Sticking it so important as a catcher.
3-1, fastball fouled off the fencing of the Big Train dugout, and the count will now be full up on Panett.
That is the Dickinson College product. Having some trouble early on. If he can retire the cleanup hitter, that's going to go a long way.
He hails from McLean, Virginia. Two other Grays, Soong and Ruggieri, also from McLean, Virginia. Full count payoff to Panett. He takes a fastball outside. No hits for Panett today, but 2 walks. He will, in all likelihood, be increasing the on-base percentage, but now the bases are loaded for Peyton Steele, who's been one of the hottest Big Train hitters these last 2 games. The Grays will have a meeting on the mound with Pettis on how to attack him.
Yeah, Steele is getting on a short list of Big Train hitters that I just really like watching at the plate. Just his approach, and when he puts the bat on the ball, it's loud. He's fun to watch hit. I put Brennan Wright on that list too. He's fun to watch hit for a different reason, because he just puts the ball in play and runs like the wind. And that's why he's at third right now. It was a bunt single. He advanced to second on the air, then stole third base. I mean, that's junior varsity stuff right there. You can really only do that at this level if you are a real athlete.
That is for sure. A single, a double, a ground out, and a walk today for Steele. And we mentioned this, Jackson. You can't take any at-bats for granted. The Big Train were up as much as 11-4 in this game. 4 runs for the Grays made it 11-7 or 11-8. But the Big Train with a run in the 6th, and now the bases loaded, up 5, 13-8 in the 7th. Nobody out. They could get those runs right back and maybe put this game out of hand as we head to the 8th and 9th. Steele takes a fastball just above the knees for a strike.
With the bases loaded right now, the Big Train are hitting 182 with the bases juiced.
Steele trying to improve that average. Takes a slider down and away for a ball. And they have the most runs in the entire Cal Ripken League so far. You'd think they'd be hitting better than below the Mendoza line with the bases loaded.
It's a very small sample size. I believe it's 2 for 11 all told.
1-1, Pettis into the windup with the bases loaded, delivers high to Steele. He's ahead in the count, 2-1.
And Pettis on the mound has just looked a bit disconnected in his delivery. Hasn't been able to execute coming down the mound.
They do have 1 grand slam on the year. It was Panett on opening day against these Grays. It tied the game at 11-11. 2-1, Steele skies one in the air deep into the Woodbridge, Virginia night, but it's out of play near the softball and football field.
And Steele gritted his teeth, walking around the bases, or walking around home plate, stalked back to his spot in the batter's box, because that's a 2-1 pitch in the zone. One he was hunting too. He wanted that.
2-2 the count, 13-8. The Bethesda Big Train lead the DC Grays. Pettis trying to retire the Crimson Tide product. And he does on a fastball on the outer half, and Steele doesn't like the call. And neither does our group of interns over behind us.
That's a big pitch there from Pettis, though, with the bases loaded retiring one of the hotter hitters in the last couple of games, Peyton Steele, that the Big Train have to offer. But Emilio Gonzalez, he's swinging a great stick right now, and now he has a big chance.
Yes, he has a favorable righty-lefty matchup, although he's done the majority of his damage so far in this season against lefties, something that you don't really see too often. Coming into this game 4 for 9 against lefties, just 1 for 9 against righties. He takes a slider down and away for ball 1.
Well, but Gonzalez in 2024 was an everyday player for 2 teams, Florida Atlantic and Bethesda. You have to be able to hit lefties if you're playing every day.
He drives one deep in the air towards center field, but Ruggieri has a beat on it. Does the fellow pitcher have a throw in him? He does! A strong throw to third, but not in time to get Skoronsky. So it'll be an F8 and a sac fly as right crosses. It's now 14-8 Big Train, but yeah, putting the two-way player, Ruggieri, in center, I had a feeling he was coming with a strong throw somewhere.
Yeah, it was a good throw, and Monk kind of drifted off the bag, came forward, and I think if he stays put, he has a better chance to slap the tag down. As it was, even though the throw was neck and neck with Skoronsky coming in, the tag from Monk was sort of behind the Bethesda outfielder.
And the Grays coach asking for an appeal with the other umpires, and the third base umpire will call his buddies in to talk about this one. I don't see how they would have a better view than the guy sitting at third base, but we'll see if they change this call.
And obviously, for the sake of extending the Big Train's lead, I hope this call is in reverse, but more than anything, I keep score in pen, and I've already had Brennan Wright crossing the plate, so you can't take it back now.
Well, also, if they were to call him out at third, now you're in a situation where did the run cross before the tag, and we will not have to have that discussion. The umpiring crew upholds the call of safe at third base, which we've already talked about at length with the one double play and the run scoring or not scoring.
Yeah, back in the fifth inning.
Fifth inning. But we don't have to go back to that can of worms again. It'll be Matthew Wesley who steps in with runners on the corners and 2 out. 2 runs already home in the inning for the Big Train. They lead the Grays 14-8. Runners off for second. Panette is down there safely.
And down at third, Skoronsky took a couple steps off as the middle infielders were walking around a bit idly after coming up with the ball. He'll stay put there, but alert at third base is Skoronsky.
5 stolen bases today, 2 from Panette, 1 from Skoronsky, 1 from Martinez, and 1 from Steele. Slider front hip on Wesley. It catches plate for a strike. It's 1-1 to the Virginia Tech Hokie.
Wesley's picked up his fair share of extra base hits so far this year. He's got 2.
1-1. Pedas comes set into the windup for the 1-1. That ball bounces in the dirt. Good block by Ahakovi to prevent Skoronsky from coming home from third.
Kovi's had a couple miscues, but he also made a couple of really tough blocks like that one. That was way in the other batter's box. He had to get his body all the way around it, did what you're supposed to do, directed it back, funneling it towards the center of the plate.
2-1. Wesley takes a fastball down and away.
And the umpire has expanded his zone down to that quadrant at times here below the knees, but that time, no call.
3-1 to Wesley. He drives one deep in the air down the line and right. Giving chase is Grace, and it will fall just out of his reach and in fair territory. Rounding for third is Wesley. He will get there. 2-run score. And it's 16-8, Big Train. A little bit of a delayed call by me. We don't have a great view into that right field corner, but the ball did land fair, and 2 runs will score on a triple.
Yeah, I'm with you, Quincy. That ball looked like it was going to twist foul, but stays just fair, and Wesley hustling all the way ends up at third base.
Pedas's day is over after not getting through an inning. The manager for the Grays has grabbed the ball. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back on the Big Train Baseball Network. welcome you back on the road here from Woodbridge, Virginia. The Bethesda Big Train doubling up the DC Grays. They lead at 16-8. Myself, Jackson Corcoran, on color. Ellie Hilton, assistant to the general manager, sitting at the table along with Calvin Kaplan, writing what I'm sure will be a great article. Caroline Smith on the graphics for the social media page. Gibson Hurt beside me doing all the technical directing. And, of course, Raquel Ordonez, president of operations. We are all having a great time here in Woodbridge, Virginia. New pitcher to tell you about for the DC Grays is Colin Casey. He pitched in the first game against the Big Train, and he delivers to Parker Corbin. First pitch was high for a ball as I was shouting everyone out. Second pitch from the left, he runs inside and hits Corbin in the back. He will have a painful ride to first.
And Colin Casey helping out Parker Corbin's OBP, which has been shooting up today. A home run and now 3 times reaching base by a walker hit by pitch.
Yeah, 4 out of the 5 times he's reached base, and he has a home run, a 3-run home run to boot. So a successful day at the office, and the Big Train have batted around again. The 9th hitter of the inning, Dylan Murphy, steps to the plate with 2 out and runners on the corners. Casey delivers a curveball that misses upstairs.
So now in 4 of the last 15, more than a quarter of the innings played in the last 2 games, the Big Train have batted around. That's the sign of an offense that is firing on all cylinders. If the 30 runs in the last 2 games didn't tell you that already.
Fastball misses outside. Yeah, over 25% of innings batting around. That is something, and a great analytical observation by you, Jackson. 2-0, Casey comes to the plate. Fastball catches the outer half of the plate for a strike to Murphy. 4 runs already home in the inning and 2 more wait on the bases. 16 runs, that's the most the Big Train have put up in any game this season. Fastball misses outside to Murphy. The count is 3-1. They put up 14 runs yesterday against the Braves, so that's 30 runs in the last now 15 innings. That's an even 2 per inning across a very large sample size. Murphy looking to add on. 3-1 is driven in the air down the line and right, but it will twist foul and into the Big Train bullpen.
And 16 runs was the most that the Big Train scored all last year. They did it twice on back-to-back games in July. The final game of the regular season beat these Grays 16-4. And then the playoff opener, the play-in game, they beat the Braves 16-4 once again.
Payoff is taken outside by Murphy. Corbin will get up to second. Wesley will stay at third, and the bases will be loaded for Peltier. And I'll give you another interesting stat here, Jackson. This will be Peltier's 6th time coming up to the plate and the 2nd time that he has batted twice in the same inning. He has a chance to continue this stranglehold that the Big Train have on this game. They lead by 8 in the 7th. He takes a fastball down and in for a strike.
I'm just waiting for someone on the Big Train, if this streak keeps moving, to pull the Fernando Tatis Sr.
2 grand slams in an inning?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll see.
Peltier can get 1.
He can. 0-2 the count on him as he takes a slider at the knees. Yeah, grand slam would make this game 20-8. Casey peers in, comes set. Kicks and delivers to the ECU Pirate. This ball is in the dirt and it gets away. Screaming home from third is Wesley, and he'll score on the wild pitch. It's now 17-8, and no grand slam possibility anymore for Peltier, but he can still drive in 2 more runs with a single.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll be mad about that. Still an RBI chance for him, and another bit of Geico for his team, some insurance.
The Cubs, when they play, they have the Gallagher Insurance Run. That's one of the sponsors that they have. 1-2 from Colin Casey. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Peltier's off for first. Throw down by Ahakovi is in time. So for the 2nd time, Peltier strikes out in his 2nd at-bat of the inning. We move to the bottom half of the 7th. The Big Train lead it 17-8. We just stretched here from Woodbridge, Virginia. The DC Grays trail the Bethesda Big Train 17-8. They'll need a run and out, trailing 9 runs with 9 outs left. Now, Jackson, you educated me on the type of 7th inning stretch that was just sung, if you want to
they
elaborate
played
on that.
the first verse of the Take Me Out to the Ball Game song. It's about a girl named Katie Casey who loves baseball. Instead of asking her beau to take her to the movies, she asked him to take her to a baseball game. And so the song goes.
Yeah, I did not know that. So, yeah. Her and I, a lot in common, I would say. New pitcher to tell you about for the Big Train will be Lucas Marrero in a mop-up role here, trying to protect a 9-run lead. He pitched 3 2/3 innings, gave up 7 runs, but only 3 of them were earned against the Crop Dusters. Really just a tough luck outing for him. His fielders gave him really no help.
Yeah, it was a real rarity because this Bethesda defense has the best fielding percentage in the league, and the eye test backs that up. But yeah, just an unlucky outing for Marrero last time he went out there. Didn't look bad at all, but just some tough sequencing really made the stat line look worse than he looked out there on the bump.
1-1, the lefty fires. Cued in the air by Adenizio, and it will fall into left for a leadoff single. Now, I don't hate moving him from a starter to a mop-up role in this instance because, like, I don't think he pitched badly against the Crop Dusters, just some horrendous luck that was extending innings, and the more the Crop Dusters saw him, the more they were able to get some good luck off of him. So, like, after, like, a confidence-shattering outing like that, I don't hate giving him some low-leverage innings to try to build that confidence back up.
And also, since he's stretched out, you hope he can finish all 3 of the remaining innings.
A save, potentially, because if you do pitch the last 3 innings, no matter the lead, you do get a save.
That it would be.
He now deals to Joey Chitla, who waves at a fastball. The Big Train. Other than the first inning where they went down 1-2-3, they have scored a run in every single inning, and they've scored more than 1 run in 3 innings, and they've scored 5 or more runs in 2 innings.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to that first inning, Drew Norton cruised through a dangerous part of the Bethesda lineup. The first 3 hitters looking like it was going to be a long day for the Bethesda bats, but since then they've awoken, and how.
Adenizio leads off of first, and this ball is lined into the gap. It will fall down. Cutting it off is Steele. He'll throw to second. Ball gets away. The pitcher, Marrero, will come out, make the play. Back-to-back singles to lead off the inning for the Grays. Yeah, but for the Big Train, it was no runs in the first, 1 run in the second, then 7 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, then 5 in the seventh. For the Grays, it was none in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, none in the fourth, 4 in the fifth, and then none in the sixth. Looking to add on some more runs here in the seventh. They chase 9 runs with 9 outs to go, but they have 2 runners on to lead off the inning against Lucas Marrero, and Ethan Nagy takes a fastball just low for a ball.
Yeah, and one thing Marrero didn't have too much trouble with was he filled it up for the most part, got some contact, and some of that contact turned bad. So hopefully he can find the ground again, get a third double play.
Grounded to third, stepping on the bag is Wesley, thrown across the diamond in time for another double play, the third one that the Grays have grounded into today.
And what's the opposite of an announcer's jinx? Because I think that just happened.
A correct prediction? I would say so.
I feel during my basketball season, at least, I was afflicted with a severe case of the announcer's jinx. You know, I'd say
he's 10 for 10 at the line, misses.
Clank. My partner Owen Detmer and I talked a lot about it, but that time it worked out.
Yeah, well, off for third, and getting there is Chitla. No throw even attempted from the catcher, Murphy.
I don't think I've seen a defense so indifferent in quite a while.
I see what you did there. Swing and a miss on the fastball by the cleanup man, Carter Jenkins. He's behind in the count 0-2 to Marrero. After 2 singles to lead off the inning, Marrero, some help from his defense, and he's 1 strike away from a scoreless 7th. The lefty peers in, kicks and fires. Fastball way high. Now 1-2.
Bethesda has twisted 7 double plays in the season. 3 of them have come today. But as I mentioned, they had a .970 fielding percentage coming into this game, and they've been perfect through 6 2/3.
1-2 from Marrero. Runs inside on Jenkins. He turns away, avoids getting hit. 2-2, the count even on the Grays' first baseman. Marrero set at the belt. Takes a deep breath, kicks and fires. Popped up in the air. Foul territory down the first base line. Gonzalez ranging back over his shoulder. Will fall just out of his reach, out of play.
Marrero, 2 nice bounce back at bats after the bloop hit and then single that didn't hang up long enough for Steele to get to. Got a soft chopper for an easy double play. And now way ahead of Nagy, who's having to battle to stay alive.
2-2. Marrero set. Takes a deep breath again. Big leg kick and the fire. Curveball popped up out of play in the same spot. And Jenkins will look to stay alive. Has a runner on 3rd and 2 out as the Grays trail the Big Train 17-8. Marrero looking for the punch out, and he has it. Jenkins chases the fastball high. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We head to the 8th. Big Train lead by 9. Top half of the 8th, set to start here from Woodbridge, Virginia. The Big Train lead the DC Grays 17-8. We'll give you some scores around the Cal Ripken League. Final from Silver Spring, the Thunderbolts take down the Alexandria Aces 3-2. The only crop dusters locked in a battle with the Metro South County Braves. They lead that one 7-6. And the Southern Maryland Senators, who sit with the best record in the league at 4-1. Just 3 innings away from making it 5-1. They lead the Gaithersburg Giants 9-3. Jackson, I know we've seen, there's a few teams we haven't seen yet in person. We haven't seen the Aces in person yet. And I believe that's the only team we haven't seen in person yet. Line drive up the middle, it's through for a single to lead off the inning for Brennan Wright. We saw half an inning out of the Senators in the exhibition. They put up 5 runs at the top of the first before that game was called. But other than the Aces, we've seen every single team in person. Any teams other than the Big Train that you think have looked particularly impressive, or a team that might be able to make a run in this league?
I was impressed with the Silver Spring pitching. They shut down Alexandria again today, allowing just 2 runs. But, I mean, they held the Big Train down for most of the game, with the Bethesda squad having to really manufacture runs. They didn't walk a batter through the entirety of the 9-inning game. Just looked really good on the mound. Have struggled with the bat a bit at times this year, but they've returned a lot of talent. I'm looking forward to see what the Thunderbolts bring throughout the rest of this year.
That's a team where if they make the playoffs, could make a deep run just because of the pitching. Eventually, that's what wins you playoff games. You can hit your way into the playoffs, but the pitching is really going to need to come through for all these teams to make the playoffs. Skoronsky, shallow in the air towards left, running in and sliding to make the catch is Owens. Off on the pitch was Wright. He's able to scramble back to second. So that'll bring Panett up with a runner on first and 1 out. I've been impressed with Southern Maryland. It's a bit of an easy choice. They're 4-1, about to be 5-1, but they hammered the Big Train in the first inning of that exhibition game that ended up getting rained out. It was 5 runs, and it was 5 runs of straight hitting. Taken upstairs with the off-speed is Panett.
And that was a program that obviously played the Big Train in the championship series last year. Bethesda, of course, won that in 2 games.
Fastball taken low by Panett. Yeah, so the standings sit as follows. Should the Crop Dusters are locked in a 7-6 battle with the Braves. So should the Senators hold on to their lead, they'll move to 5-1. The Aces move to 2-3. The Grays, barring a miracle in the last 2 innings of this one, they'll move to 2-3. The Braves at 2-4, currently down by 1 to the Crop Dusters. The aforementioned Crop Dusters sit at 3-1 atop the Northern Division. The Thunderbolts, after their win today, they sit at 3-2. The Big Train, 2 innings away from being 3-3, and the Gaithersburg Giants drop to 1-4. Their only win coming against the Big Train. As the teams start to jockey for position after the first week of the season. 2-2 the count on Panett. 6 straight innings of run scoring for the Big Train. Panett fouls one out of play. But that is what the scene looks like around the Ripken League. Big Train have won the league the last 2 years and 3 out of the last 4. Looking for the three-peat this year. 2-2 from Casey. Fouled off the facing of the Big Train dugout, and the count will remain the same.
But if they keep hitting like this, I mean, it'll be a clear path to the championship. Have to lock in just a bit on the mound, but we've seen good signs. I mean, good inning from Cass. Marrero, good inning as well.
Off for second is Wright. He will get there. Throw sails into center field. Wright will keep the wheels moving and head for third. He'll get there standing.
But the Big Train hasn't always been bashing their way to these high run totals. It's in plays like that. Brennan Wright making it from first to third on a stolen base, and there was never a thought about stopping at second as soon as he saw the throw sail.
The Grays bench does not look too happy about Wright taking a base up 9 runs in the 8th. Casey Cubs set. Delivers to Panett. Fastball outside, and the Charlotte 49er takes his 3rd walk of the night.
But there is a vested interest in, if you're able to, shortening the game. If you can get 3 runs in this inning and then save an inning from your pitching staff, that's an inning you don't have to use, and then you're able to save
the Mercy
for
rule
Wednesday's
you're talking
game.
about?
Yeah.
That is true. So if the Big Train make this 18-8 and put up a scoreless bottom half.
20-8. 12 runs.
12 runs
7,
is the
yeah.
Mercy rule? I thought it was 10.
It's 10, which is 10 runs in the NCAA and most other collegiate leagues, but in the Cal Ripken League it is 12.
Fouled away by Peyton Steele. And collegiate softball, it's 8 runs after 5 innings, which I always thought seemed a little low. Like teams have put up 8 runs in an inning before. 12, okay, yeah, 12's a lot. 8, I feel like, isn't that much. That's 1 time through the order. Taken in the dirt by Steele. The count is 2-1.
But softball is just, at the collegiate level, there's so many dominant pitchers that it's tough to push runs across if you're getting outclassed.
That is true. But then you get into a game like this where it's 17-8, and the offenses have just been so hot. Steele flies it in the air, deep towards right, over to make the catch is Grace. Tagging from third is Wright. He will score without any issues, and the Big Train now lead by 10. It's 18-8.
18 runs in this game. That is the most that the Big Train have scored since June 13th, 2023, when they racked up 26 on Gaithersburg at Shirley Povich Field.
And they won that game 26-0 in a season where they eventually finished 23-13. Off for second is Panett. Throw down. Not in time. And stealing bases, up 10 runs. The big train not here to protect feelings. Emilio Gonzalez back into the box. Another great day for him. 3 for 5. 6 hits in his last 10 at-bats. Off for third is Panett. Throw down. Not in time. He's in there safely again.
But Casey not even really giving him a glance over there at second, not changing up his timing at all. And Panett pretty much took off as soon as he finished getting his lead, and Casey never gave him a second thought.
That's 8 stolen bases in the game for the big train and 3 in this inning. Gonzalez half swing, appeal to third, a full swing in the eyes of our third base umpire. The count is now 1-2 on the FAU.
Gonzalez trying to pick up the first 4-hit game for any big train hitter this year.
14 hits as a team for the big train. Kick in the fire. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Gonzalez chases, or gives Ahakovi a little bit of a chase. Eventually, Ahakovi had to throw down to first, and the throw was in time. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base as we head to the bottom half of the Marrero. 2 hits, no runs, no earned. No walks and 1 strikeout. The ball will be handed to Owen Stewart, the George Mason product. Has pitched twice this year, pitched a scoreless 9th against the Grays on opening night, and 2/3 of an inning in Silver Spring on Thursday. He did pick up a save, the only big train pitcher with a save, and he rears back and fires the first pitch to Andrew Ruggieri, just high for a ball.
Stewart's looked great so far. He's retired every batter he's faced.
Yes, he has. 5 in a row.
And he's had 4 inherited runners when he's come into games and only allowed 1 of them to score.
It did end up being the winning run for the Grays on opening night, but that run was charged to Michael Cass.
And it was a nearly impossible situation. First and second, nobody out. And just so tough to get out of that unscathed when the team's hitting as well as the Grays were.
2-1. Sizzling fastball on the inner half for a strike. Yeah, the only way to really get out of first and second, nobody out, is either get some strikeouts or a double play. looking to retire the first 6 batters in a row. Kick in the fire from Stewart. Swing and a miss by Ruggieri. He's down on strikes. And we were talking a little bit, why pitch one of your better pitchers up 10 runs in the 8th? But this could just be like a scheduled day to get him in. With a lot of these summer ball teams, they sort of schedule who they want to pitch and when.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have the off day tomorrow. I mean, if you want to give him 2 days off, say you have the off day, the Aces, then he's ready to go for the home game against the Crop Dusters.
And should they? And he's their primary closer. He's their shutdown guy when they need it. So they do have the day off tomorrow. So should they get into a game against the Aces that's 5-4 in the 9th, you can put him out there on a day's rest. This ball lined in the air towards right. Steal is over, and he will make the catch for the second out. And especially if Stewart can get through this inning efficiently. That's already 2 outs on 6 pitches. Excuse me, 2 outs on 7 pitches as Ryan Gray steps in. Kick in the fire from Stewart. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. Grace today yet to join the hit parade. In fact, he's been the most unlucky hitter today, grounding into 2 double plays. He loops one in the air towards shallow center. Giving chase is Peltier, and he will make the catch. Quick inning for Stewart. Only 9 pitches. He faces the minimum. Some Lil Wayne being played as we head to the 9th. 18-8. Oh, they just turned off Lil Wayne. Wow. I can't believe that. 18-8 as we head to the 9th. Top half of the 9th here from Woodbridge, Virginia. Colin Casey still on the mound for the DC Grays. And he will deal to the bottom of the big train order, 7, 8, and 9. We thank you to all of you who are still watching this game. Myself, on play-by-play, Jackson Corcoran, providing some great color and a nice 3 innings of play-by-play in the middle of this one. Jackson, the big train, 3 outs away from getting to 500. What have you liked from them today? And don't say they scored 18 runs.
I mean, I like that they've scored 18 runs. But I mentioned before last inning, I like that they've scored 18 runs in a variety of different ways. You had slug, Parker Corbin, going yard. You had extra base hits from Peyton Steele and Matthew Wesley. And then you had singles and bunts and stolen bases from the rest of the lineup that just found ways to push runs across.
So in 2 games against the DC Grays, the big train with 29 runs scored. 11 on opening night, 18 here today. Casey kicks and fires, chopped foul by Wesley. We'll see if they can get to 20 today. We mentioned they hadn't scored 20 runs since that 26-0 game that they beat where they beat Gaithersburg 2 years ago. A nice 20 spot always feels good for the squad, I'll say that. Kick in the fire from Casey. Wesley hard up the middle, stabbed by the shortstop Chitla. Throw on to first is airmailed. So after the great diving stop, Chitla can't finish the job, and that'll be the fourth, or actually fifth, error of the day for the Grays.
Yeah, tough stuff for the home team and the home crowd. The Grays just haven't had it together in today's contest.
And E6, and now Parker Corbin will step in. On base 4 of his 5 at-bats today, including a 3-run home run way back in the 3rd. Pickoff attempt at first. Wesley is back. That was actually only the 4th error of the game for the Grays. The scoreboard operator put in that error very quickly. I looked and thought they were sitting at 4 errors. That was their 4th error. Coming set at the belt is Casey. Pickoff attempt at first, but back is Wesley. I do think you're right, though, Jackson. The runs in a variety of ways. We've seen home runs, we've seen doubles, we've seen triples. We just saw a passed ball that gets through Ahakovi, which will move Wesley to second. But it's been, like we talked about earlier, it's every base counts, and they just haven't been hesitating to take extra bases in this one.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, that's how you win ball games. I mean, when you see a 4-4 score in the 7th inning in a few weeks against, the Aces, whoever, you're going to need those type of plays.
Fastball right down the middle to Corbin. 2-1 the count.
The Big Train have shown an ability and a willingness to get dirty on the base paths and get aggressive, make some big momentum swinging plays.
Casey, the lefty, looks back. Wesley at second, now comes to the plate. Shattering his bat is Corbin, and misplayed by Dixon at third, and he slips to the ground after missing the ball.
It's a tough play for Dixon Monk. It's just spinning off the shattered bat of Parker Corbin, and it hits off the toe of his glove, and he slips on the slick grass and able to get back to it.
Our scorekeeper is going to rule that an error. So that will be the 5th error for the Grays and their 2nd straight in this inning. Runners on the corners with nobody out, and Dylan Murphy at the plate. Fouls one straight back. 2 hits and 2 walks today for Murphy. He's reached 4 of 5 times. And this is these last 2 games are great for the stat lines of these players, You got to think of yourself in games like these, if I can put up 4 singles in a game that's out of reach, that's going to help the average, and eventually coaches are going to look at that further down in my career. Hey, he hit 278 at the Big Train as opposed to 238.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this summer experience is supposed to make the rest of your career as good as it can be, as long as that goes, whether it goes all the way to the big leagues, as many Big Train have done, or whether it just simply ends up at a better collegiate career. I mean, getting better looks in games like these, and for guys that are in the portal on this team, I mean, more swings on games like today, I mean, more barrels that you can put on tape. It's nothing but good.
That slider misses low to Dylan Murphy, and he has a walk, and the bases will be loaded with nobody out in the top of the order coming up for the Big Train.
That was almost the opposite of what you often see from hitters in the 3-ball count. Start moving too quick, but Murphy, I think he thought that was strike 2, but it stood pat until the umpire gave him the go-ahead to trot on down to first.
The Big Train emptying the bench here, up 10 in the 9th. Brett Ott will pinch hit for Alex Peltier. He'll go lefty on lefty against Colin Casey. Kick and the fire. Ott takes a front hip slider for a strike. Ott, a very speedy outfielder, struggling a little bit to start this year. 214 average, but a 421 on base. He's taken his fair share of walks. Takes a slider outside.
He's over 10 with runners in scoring position. A good time to break that off right here. He does have an RBI in those situations.
Kick and the fire from Casey. Fastball is up.
Picked up 4 walks so far this year. Discerning eye from the West Coaster.
2-1. Ball gets away. Coming home from third is Wesley. He will walk home standing up. Big Train now lead it 19 to 8.
And the Grays offense has been pretty solid today. Double-digit hits, 10 of them, 8 runs. I mean, on any given day, that'll have you in most ball games. But I mean, the Big Train working like they have, it's an 11-run game.
3-1 on Ott. Takes outside for ball 4. So now Brennan Wright will step back in. He's scored 3 runs today, 2 hits and a walk. He will be continuing his career at South Alabama, and his dad is now sitting behind home plate with a camera, taking some pictures in a South Alabama baseball shirt.
Go Jaguars.
You didn't even let me ask what the mascot was. Wright takes upstairs. 2 for 5 today with a walk. 19 runs on 14 hits, no errors for the Big Train. 8 runs on 10 hits. The line says 4 errors for the Grays. Popped up in the air, foul territory. It will get out of play. Looking to make it 20 with the bases loaded and still nobody out. Coming set is Casey. Kicks and fires. Front hip slider just misses inside. It's now 2-1 on Wright.
So pitcher doing some light warming in the Grays bullpen, but it might be time for Colin Casey to eat it.
Driven deep in the air towards left field off the bat of Brennan Wright, and making the catch to a slide is Owens. Nice catch out there. Tagging from third is Corbin. He'll score. It's a sac fly for Wright, and the Big Train lead it 20 to 8.
The big 2-0. Again, the first time they've done that in 2 years.
Sacrifice F7, and now Skoronski will step in with runners on first and second with 1 out.
They've scored in 8 straight innings. If you take out their 2 biggest innings, it's still a tie game.
Wow. Strike is called at the knees to Skoronski. Yeah, you take away their 7-run third and their 5-run 7th. It's 8-8 still. Pretty impressive stuff. Casey kicks and fires lefty on lefty against Skoronski. Fastball taken just high for a ball.
Skoronski coming off the bench. He's walked and scored. Grounded out and flown out as well.
31 balls to 28 strikes for Casey. Skoronski deep in the air towards right, but able to make the catch is Grace. No runners will advance. I think the Cubs fan in me got a little excited there. We tend to get very excited on fly balls and cheer until the ball's caught. We're such a stupid fan base, aren't we?
You sure are. As one of the best fans in baseball.
I like
Cardinals.
to say that we know how to have the most fun. Because Cardinals fans like yourself like to talk about what an intelligent fan base you are. This ball lined up the middle into center field. It will get down off the bat of Panette. Rounding third and coming home. Throw goes to third. And the tag was not made in time to get Ott. Scoring from second is Murphy. And the game is now 21 to 8. Big Train. But as I was saying, Cardinals fans love to talk about what intelligent of a fan base they are and how they know a lot more than everyone else. I actually went to a Cardinals game early in the year last year. I think it was their second 20% capacity, and I think every time I go to Wrigley Field, it's pretty much packed out.
1908.
1-0, driven deep into the air, but sliding in to make the catch is Owens to retire the side, but not before 3 runs cross on no hits, 2 errors in the inning, and 1 runner left on base. To the bottom of the 9th, 21-8, Big Train. Bottom of the 9th, set to commence. Big Train lead this one by 13, 21-8. Looking to close out the Grays. It'll be 9-2-1. Due up, Eli Owens, Dixon Monk, and TJ Edenicio. First pitch to the lefty, Owens. Stewart still on the mound for his second, and in all likelihood, last inning of work. Fastball right down the middle for a strike.
I'm imagining the scenario where Stewart gets another inning, and it's pretty insane. 13 runs allowed, and they ship him back out there for the 10th.
A 13-run 9th, knock on wood, would be disastrous. But Stewart has retired, what now, 8 batters in a row to start his Big Train tenure in 2025?
That he has.
He'd probably be the last guy I would pick to give up a 13-run 9th inning.
No, he has looked great every time he stepped on the mound, just composed up there. He looks like a high-leverage reliever.
And that's probably what the Big Train are going to use him as. Called strike 3 at the knees to Eli Owens, and it's 9 straight retired on the year for Owen Stewart.
Number 27, Sam Mosman.
So now we will have a pinch hitter for the Grays. It'll be Sam Mosman, who steps in to pinch hit for Dixon Monk.
Native of Bethesda, Maryland, Mosman.
Takes a strike.
Tens NYU, who are the Violets.
Your Big Train will be back in Bethesda, Maryland on Thursday at home for a night game. It's Decades Night. Make sure you get your tickets so you can strut your stuff. You can get tickets at bigtrain.org/tickets. That's bigtrain.org/tickets. 2 outs away are the Big Train from getting to 500 on the year at 3-3, 1-1. Slider misses just low to Mosman.
And hopefully this is the first and last time Big Train see a 500 winning percentage next to their names. Onward and upward we go.
2-1, misses inside. And they finished the month of June last year at 12-12, then dipped below 500 to 12-15 before they won their last 9 games of the regular season and all 5 of their playoff games. 3-1, misses inside, and Mosman has a walk in his only plate appearance of this one.
Now batting for your Grays, number 19, TJ Adenizio.
TJ Adenizio now steps in. That is the first base runner that Owen Stewart has allowed this year after 9 straight. All good things must come to an end. The George Mason product kicks and fires and breezes a fastball by Adenizio.
The substitute has reached twice in each of his plate appearances, walked and singled, came around to score back in the 5th.
Takes a fastball just below the knees. Count is now 1-1 to Adenizio. Adenizio and Ahakovi have 2 of the more unique and fun to pronounce names in the Ripken League. 1-1 from Stewart. Half swing, a called strike by our plate umpire. It's now 1-2. And on opening night, they were hitting back-to-back at 5 and 6 in the lineup. I got those 2 confused more than once. 1-2, Stewart looking for the 3rd strikeout of his outing. Grounded through the hole into right field for a base hit. Mosman will stop at second. That's the first hit that Owen Stewart has allowed this year. A 1-out single. And now Joey Chitla will step in with runners on 1st and 2nd and 1 out.
I just want to induce another ground ball here, send us home. Another good end to a road trip for the Big Train.
They've already turned 3 double plays. A 4th would end this one. Swing and a miss at a fastball in the dirt by Chitla. The Big Train have been fantastic defensively. Our media guy says, can I pick it? Yes, you can. The Big Train lead the league in fielding percentage at .969, making just 5 errors across their first 5 games. No errors tonight. 0-2 the count on Chitla. Stewart rocks, kicks, and fires. Chopped on the ground slowly down the 3rd base line. Panette will field it just foul. When away from home, the Big Train are hitting .265 as a team, scoring just under 6 runs per game and allowing just over 7 runs per game. But 21 runs today, that average is going to skyrocket.
Double-digit runs now 3 games in a row and 4 games total of the first 6. And the offense has not been a problem at all this year.
0-2 from Stewart to Chitla. Lined on the ground and through into left field for a base hit. Mosman at 3rd gets the stop sign. He will stay there. So the bases are now loaded for the DC Grays and only 1 out.
Number 4, Ethan Nagy.
2 singles in the inning to go with a 1-out walk. And now Nagy will hit with the bases loaded.
Now
2 singles and a walk for him today.
Stewart having to work a little bit. He's thrown 26 pitches, still has 2 outs to procure.
Taken right down the middle by Nagy for a strike. 17 strikes to just 9 balls for Stewart. He's been accurate. Comes set, fires the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Waving above the fastball was Nagy, and he's behind 0-2. "21 runs on 15 hits for the Big Train. The Grays allowed a bevy of walks to go with 6 errors in this one. Popped up foul and out of play. So 21 runs on 15 hits, no errors for the Big Train. 8 runs on 12 hits and 6 errors for the Grays.
They came into this one committing 7 fielding miscues, nearly doubled that in just these 9 innings.
0-2 filed straight back by Nagy. Yeah, we talked about the Big Train had been out hitting teams, but losing in the run department. 21-8 the score, but the hits, the Big Train, 15-12. Stewart taps the foot once, twice, now thrice. This ball grounded to 3rd. Panette is up with it, throws to 2nd, just in time. Throw to 1st, also just in time. It's the 4th double play. The Grays have grounded into 5-4-3 to end this one, and the Big Train back to 500 on the year. At 3-3, they win this one in Woodbridge, 21-8. We'll say it again, 21 runs on 15 hits, no errors, and 11 runners left on base for the Train. For the Grays, 8 runs on 12 hits, 6, count 'em, errors, and 13 runners left on base. Your winning pitcher is Jordan Capuano, and the losing pitcher, the Gray starter, Drew Norton. Jackson, any final thoughts on this one?
I mean, great to head into an off day with this sort of momentum. You get to, wind things down and then jump right back into it with a game against a tough opponent in the Alexandria Aces. I'm really looking forward to that contest out in Alexandria, Virginia.
It'll be Jackson and Eliav on the call for that one. I will have the day off, and then it'll be myself and Eliav back in action for the Thursday home game at 7. Make sure to get your tickets at bigtrain.org/tickets. That's bigtrain.org/tickets. This game started at 7 o'clock, ended at 10:30. So 3.5 innings of 3.5 hours worth of 29 runs in this game. I'm just finishing up some bookkeeping for next time. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back after a day off on Thursday or on Wednesday. Watching the Big Train Baseball.